really seriously hope that there is a special place in hell for people that do this. Anybody that's driven on a 2-lane highway that has those periodic passing zones where you can go into the other lane and pass, I understand if you want to drive slow. Okay. But if you're that asshole that wants to drive 35 in a 45, and then the second we come up to that passing zone, you suddenly accelerate to 65, seriously, you need to go to a special place in hell. Like that, why? Can someone explain to me why, what is your other than being a dick, what is your motive?
That's it. Some people need to show that, Bob.
It's literally this is my commute, which I had to do today because of an emergency at the data center, and I was rushing back to get here in time, and of course, I run into one of those people. So frustrating.
Did it set you back? I'm curious because whenever people I normally drive pretty close to the speed limit or somewhere a little bit over, but I'm really close. I'm always one of those people that thinks the police is watching me and nobody else. Right. Everyone could speed by at 100 miles per hour, and if I go up to 46, it's gonna be woo.
That's me. Well, no, for me it's a deer. A deer's gonna jump out in front of me. That's what's gonna happen.
But I'm normally when I piss people off behind me, it's just because I don't go super fast. And then they'll go make a big spectacle. They'll jerk the car around. They'll go by me at 100 miles per hour. And they'll fly up ahead. And I just roll up right next to them at the next stop sign or stoplight. And it's hi.
That is the other thing that happens because most of my commute, most of my hour commute is a 2-lane highway. It's bookended by 4-lane highways that are high speed, but the majority of it, the bulk of it, is a 2-lane highway. And there are those people where I'm usually I'm driving, I'm like a 5 mile over person. That's usually where I hang out. But I will say on Route 9, which is split, it's Virginia 9 and West Virginia 9, people drive generally 55, even though it's a 45. So just everybody tends to go a little bit faster. So I might go a little more than 5 over there. But there's always that. There's always, it seems like almost not every day, but probably half the days that I go into work, there's somebody that's demanding to drive 70 on this road. And they will do that. They will fly by me. And I'm go, whatever. I don't really care. And sure enough, 15 minutes later, there they are. I'm right behind them at the red light. Because you're not you can drive 70 if you want, but you're not going to get there any faster on that road because you're always going to run into somebody driving between 45 and 55. It's a long road. You're always going to hit that person, and there are red lights, and they're I don't understand it. And it's just constant. There's just so many people around here that are just I don't know. And then the other thing is the headlights thing. At least a quarter of the people driving on 9 just turn their high beams on and leave them on. They don't care. They don't even remotely care. Behind you, in front of you, and I've actually figured this out. It really kind of confused me on why people don't realize it seems like the people that do this don't realize how detrimental it is. And the only thing I can think of is I didn't really realize that I'm kind of a rare breed where I actually always know what's going on around me. I'm constantly looking in my mirrors, and I always, if at any point you froze and said, "Okay, Bob, where are all the cars around you?" I would almost certainly be able to tell you, "Okay, there's one car back there. There's one car to my right behind me," because I'm always hyper aware of that. And I think that's why it bugs me more, because I'm always looking in my mirror, and it's just like somebody shining a headlight, or a flashlight, right in my eye. Every time I look in the mirror, it's just right there. Even during the day, broad daylight, there are times where I have to dim my mirror because somebody behind me has some kind of super bright headlights on high beams, and they're just right there. And like, I know people were like, well, why does it even matter in the daylight? It's like, well, if you're driving down the road and I take a flashlight and shine it in your eye, like, is that going to bug you? I think it will. But like, I think that's the thing, is I think people don't really pay attention behind them. Like, they just kind of look ahead and don't spend the time looking in the mirror. So they don't really realize how much that affects you. That's my theory anyway.
I bet you would be surprised how many people driving on the road don't even know what that blue light thing is on the dashboard. That's got the little cone with the little light things coming off of it. That's bright blue on your dashboard.
That means my headlights are on, right?
I bet you most people, like a lot of people, don't even understand what that means.
It is actually true, because I actually knew somebody that, like, she was going to take her car in for an inspection, and she's like, hey, can you, like, check my lights? And, like, she was, like, putting her high beams on. I'm like, wait, do that again? And I was, like, really confused, because there was, like, different lights coming on. I'm like, something's weird. I'm like, what are you doing? And I realized, like, and she had been driving for years like this. She was actually turning, like, parking lights. Like, she was treating her parking lights as her regular lights and headlights as high beams. And she didn't even realize, like, nobody actually taught her correctly, you know? And, like, it was just like, I was like, wow, you know, it's like, you know, my parents, like, stepped through everything and made sure that I knew every part of the car and, you know, stuff like that. But, like, I'm realizing, you know, there's a lot of people that don't have that. They just, like, are like, here's a car, figure it out, don't wreck, you know. But like that was kind of an eye-opening thing. I'm like, you driving for years that way. That's kind of, yeah. You're right. There probably is a lot of people that don't even realize their high beams are on. That's a very good point. But there's also a lot of dicks out here too. So there's a lot that are like, they know their headlights are on and they don't care, or their high beams are on, and yeah. Anyway, this is Side Friction. It's episode 97 for September 20th, 2025. I'm Bob.
I'm Ryan the Ride Mechanic.
I'm the quiet guy that was listening to the rant there. This is Mike.
Quiet.
Also known as Airtime Myke. How are we doing?
You're quiet for 7 minutes. Then we'll get into it.
Yeah. See. Listen, I don't want to interrupt you. You know what I'm saying? Like you were going around there talking about the high beams, and you know, Ryan was talking about like the little bullet looking thing on your dashboard. Yeah, that's the indicator that you know that your high beams are on. For those who are listening that don't know what that means, that means your high beams are on. So like when you see that little light lit up there with the little. Yeah, the little triangle thing, little oval thing, little bottom, little three little lines going through it. That means your high beams are on, which means the person who's driving in front of you, they're being blinded by your car lights if you're behind them. And then you talked about the guys there. See, what we those people, the jerks you're talking about there, we call those my girl started to call them the LD. Those are called little dick problems. People that like to just like go around like wanting to run into people and wanting to hit, you know, like wanting to be a cause of nuisance because they have a serious ego problem and they just want to like try to get their rocks off somewhere else because they can't do it at home. So they have to road rage because all they think about at home is I don't have that much space in between my legs here as I'm driving, so I've got more time to just step on the gas and go where I want to go. And so they're dicks. They're literally dicks. They're Bob, like literal dicks. And as far as the cops go, I don't have to speed or change lanes incorrectly to get pulled over. So I didn't feel bad for you in that situation at all. All I have to do is drive by. So I'm just like, especially in West Virginia. So I'm just kind of like, as you're going off on your tip there about the issues and the problems, all I'm thinking about is, man, it would just be nice to just drive through West Virginia. once and not get pulled over for nothing at all. So that would be nice. I'll take the high beams. I'll take the high beams to road rage, the 75 mile an hour guy all day. Like all day.
I get it. I was kind of shocked,
but at least you can go 75 because I live in Northern Virginia. We can't even get to 55 in Northern Virginia. So I'm glad you could even get that fast. That's nice,
dude.
That's real nice.
You're in a very different part of Northern Virginia. Like if you go around Ashburn, people get to 70. Then they might be on the shoulder in the grass. They get to 70.
It's not in a lane. It's somewhere else.
Like this is the shocking thing for me. How is it that I'm always hitting deer when all these assholes are all around me? Like it's like it is. I mean, we are in a similar area. Like Mike is actually like. We're both in the DC area on the total opposite sides. But
yeah, you're in the West Virginia side. I'm in the actual traffic side. Yeah,
dude. Remember, I work in Northern Virginia. Okay. I work in actual Northern Virginia, so I deal with all that. And now, like, they always follow me too. It's like because. Like many years ago, like I lived in Ashburn, and I'm like, I'm so tired of this, and that's when I moved out to Linden, which is like an hour away. That was in Virginia, but like much more rural Virginia. And then all of a sudden, it was like everybody else is like, oh, this is going to be the next commuter town, and they start building their houses. I'm like, oh, this sucks. And then like 2020, I moved to West Virginia. I'm like, okay, I'm out of all that. What's happened? Development after development. I'm like, dude, quit it. Stop it. I thought I could move to West Virginia and be okay. And no, all you dicks are moving out here now. Why? Stay there.
Do you want to keep going north? I mean, Pennsylvania, eventually Jersey, New York. Like, when's it going to stop, Bob? You're going to keep making that commute to work longer and longer. Soon you're going to take a quick little flight from Philadelphia and just go to Philadelphia, flying to DCA, and then just happen to just park your car and it might be faster. So no, it's a 23-minute flight. I've taken that flight before.
That's actually true, honestly. That's a good idea.
Eventually, we'll have drones. So, like like drones for cars. You just have those. You just hop in.
Can you imagine this though? Like, I mean, we already have planes flying out of the sky or falling out of the sky right now. Like, can you imagine the FAA managing that? No. That's why I don't think it'll ever happen.
Yeah, that's one of the major roadblocks of that whole thing. Anyway, is that the FAA can't. They've already got air traffic maximum going up above, and it's like, and you're going to just add all these other people, and you can't fly them over people's houses because they could just crash into somebody's house.
Well, and also remember, I was just discussing how people are like driving on the shoulder and in the grass to get to 70 miles an hour. Like they're not going to follow routes in the sky; they're going to go wherever the hell they feel like. It's just there's no logistically. I don't think we'll ever see flying cars just because of that reason. And if we do, like
we're past that date, Bob. Back to the Future came out like 1985. It came out like 1989, and then they went 30 years in the future because the movie takes place in 85, but they went 30 years in the future to 2015. And that was 10 years ago. And they had flying cars. And they had hoverboards, Bob.
Right.
Hoverboard.
Now that
the off-ramp in the sky where they had to take the off-ramp in the sky. Yeah.
Take the off-ramp. Doc Brown up there with his little he did have on those nice those shades he had on there. He was kind of ahead of his time. He had the Uncle Nate's on. The little pit vipers, except he had like the neon ones, like little frosted ones. Those were pretty nice, actually.
I used to have a pair of those from Pizza Hut. Dude, do you remember Back to the Future had Pizza Hut had Back to the Future sunglasses? That was a promotion they had, and there were like 4 different ones, and I had them all at one point. I mean, they're.
You probably still got them somewhere in a storage container.
No. Because remember, my mom just passed away last year, and we went through the entire house, and like the house is now no longer ours. So like they're not. They weren't there.
They're not there.
We did find 3 of the 4 Land Before Time puppets that Pizza Hut had, though.
Oh,
which we were pretty excited about. and randomly Cogsworth from Beauty and the Beast. I don't know where he came from, but like he was there with the other three, like the same rubber material. I'm like, this is not the fourth. This is a raw movie.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was crazy the stuff we found.
Oh man, I'm old. Oh man, I'm getting up there now. I'm catching age. It's great,
dude. I know. Like,
it's great.
How the hell?
I felt kind of like I didn't feel the turkey caicos, and like and when I went and won the Michael Jackson competition where I could like literally name every song that he played and play a little snippet. I'm like, oh, I know what that is. I know what that is, and like they did it 20 times. And I got them all, and I'm like, how old am I? You know, like I'm like, what am I doing in this room? Like I'm thinking I'm hip and hopping. I'm looking around here. I'm like, there's nobody in this room here who was born in like 1990 or 2000, like in this room.
I know it's crazy, right? Like it's like you were born in the 1900s. Like what? It's not that long ago.
I wasn't even born this century. You know what I mean? I'm like, I wasn't even born this century. I'm like, so this kid out here is talking about he doesn't even know who Michael Jackson even is. I'm like, oh my god,
oh, no. Oh man.
Oh man.
You know, it's funny because we use Amazon devices. I won't say the name because half the listeners will be like, oh, keyed up in my house. But we use those Amazon devices all over the place. And all the time, my wife, first thing in the morning, she says, you know the name. She says, play 90s, play 90s music. Because that's what she likes. And it's like, okay, and all the time, not every time. Sometimes it just starts playing 90s music. All the time it goes, getting top oldies.
Oh, dude,
now, that would be one thing if it just started playing random oldies songs, but no, it starts playing 90s songs.
Yes, that's what hit me. Like growing up, we had 3WS in Pittsburgh, and that was like the 50s and 60s station. And like one time I was going up like years ago, like I was visiting, and like I just was skimming through, and like I saw it hit 3WS station, and they were playing 90s, and I was like, oh my god. Yep. Like that's when it all hit, like, oh shit. I really am old.
Yeah, because I can hear the radio bumpers, we play the 70s, 80s, and today, and I'm thinking about that plus my age, and then I just forward everything, and then it's just like okay, like, oh yeah, all right, definitely oldies.
So the 90s are now oldies.
Yes.
Am I just learning this? So
well,
yeah. So
according to some Amazon devices,
it just smacked Mike in the face. It just hit him. Tell us how you feel, Mike.
Not good.
There's a lot of stuff flashing before his eyes right now.
Not good, man. I'm thinking about Y2K. Like I remember this vividly. You know what I'm saying? Like,
dude,
I remember going through that whole thing right there, man. Like everybody's panicking and everybody's saving files and trying to figure this out in floppy disk, stuff like that. So all these zip drives and America Online and dial-up network. And now I'm like, wait a minute, that's all in the 90s. MapQuest. Print them out before if you want to drive somewhere. We didn't have the there was no Waze.
Dude, I remember my first coaster trip. My first coaster trip, I had to call AAA and order a triptych. Like I had to order it. I'm like, hey, this is where I'm going. I need to know how to get there. And like a couple of days later in the mail, I got a map with everything highlighted. Here's where you turn, and like that's how we did it. There's no
nice GPS stuff. Man. I got a pager in one of these closets, man. Find my little Nextel. What's up?
Yes.
Like what are we doing? Yes.
Yes.
That's the one.
That's
we can do the Nextel one.
Man.
Yeah. My wife was talking about pager code. She's like, oh yeah, talking about pager code. It's like I just remember getting all the what is it? It was like 1 free hour of AOL CD in the mail.
I remember those things, man.
What's always get tons of those things.
You know what's actually crazy is I literally drive by when I'm at work. I drive by the AOL headquarters. It's now leveled. It's all just dirt now. Like that literally happened within the last few months. They just leveled it all. Which is weird because it was I can't remember when exactly it was, but somewhere in like probably 2018-ish. Raytheon took over the entire complex. It just became a Raytheon complex. And then, like, I don't know, just in the last 4 or 5 months, I guess they didn't want it anymore. It's just leveled. So, like, AOL is, like, really gone. Then they killed dial-up, too. I'm sure you guys saw that in news and social media, but, like, dial-up finally died from AOL. There are still dial-up. Juno is still around. Do you guys remember Juno?
Yeah.
The free internet provider? They're still there. They still give you free dial-up internet.
Really?
Yes. It's like 10 hours a month. You get 10 hours free a month and a free email address with Juno.
And, you know, I still get surprised when people are like, oh, here's the fax number. It's like, fax? What are you doing? What are you talking about? Fax number.
That's like the medical industry still uses it. They're finally starting to move away, but like just a few years ago, it was like that's how medical records got transmitted. It was still all fax. It's crazy.
To all the listeners who are like 35 and older, you're reminiscing and going down memory lane, and enjoying with us. Anyone who's under 30, we apologize. We're not that old.
Sorry for the dead air.
This is
about that. We apologize.
This is what it was like.
I've got a PS5. Okay, I'm still hip. I'm talking about that. PS5, man. I'm about to start a TikTok right now. I was like, yeah, like just want you to know, I'm adaptable. So, yeah, 3 old men over here talking about 80s and Back to the Future and all stuff and LDPs.
If you want to know, whenever Magnum was brand new, this is what was going on.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's still like that image is still in my head too, of like driving to Cedar Point and just seeing that massive red lift hill, like out of nowhere. It was just like this massive structure, and now you can't even see it. like behind all this other stuff. It's so crazy to think of like what that was, and now it's like, eh.
Right now it's tiny.
Yeah,
tiny little thing.
It really is. It's still fun though. I still love it.
I wouldn't know.
I know.
We gotta get you out there, Ryan. We gotta get you out there, Wes.
Somebody experienced the true nature of Cedar Point.
Yep, that was me.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It's not the true nature. That just happened to happen on the trip. That's all.
It's the true nature.
That's right. A lot of people were like, "Oh, you must be so upset." You know, they're just out for blood after that video I released, and it was just like, you know, coming from the mechanic point of view, you know, from other amusement parks. It's like I understand parks have bad days all the time, and I understand like sometimes it just doesn't run, and you have to deal with that. But it's like, okay, that's. You know, that's why I always say it doesn't matter where we're going, what we're doing. It's always, if it's open, if we can get on it. I'm not saying I have to do it, because if I have to, it's a for sure way to shut something down.
Well,
there you go.
With that, let's get into the first thing I wanted to talk about. The most reliable ride at Cedar Point.
Yes.
Siren's Curse. You know the thing that everybody says is always broken?
That is the most reliable ride, though.
Reliable ride now. 88% uptime.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that is absolutely awesome.
I mean, you think the way the media...
incredible for a brand new roller coaster.
Right. Oh,
for a brand new roller coaster?
Meanwhile, the media acts like it's not, like... doesn't run at all. And then they don't mention...
not just brand new, but that much safety involved in that one particular ride. I mean, there is so much... It's like safer than safe because it has an open track. I mean, it's like 10 times safety of a normal ride. Yep. It's ridiculous.
Yep. The two worst reliable coasters at Cedar Point, Top Thrill 2 and Raptor.
I was going to say Raptor and something else. Okay.
Raptor's at 66.2%. Top Thrill 2 is at 68.28%. Millennium Force is third worst at 69%.
A tough year. Millie had a tough year. It's had a tough. It wasn't. It's funny you mentioned those because like those rides. I went to Cedar Point twice this year. Man, the entire day, Siren's Curse was open the entire day. Never went down. Didn't go down one time on a busy Saturday in July. And so or June, no, I started in June, didn't go down one time. And then Millie was on one train, and then I only got to ride like one time because it would have downtime, didn't go down. And then Raptor actually was open the entire day. It didn't have any issues. The only coaster that really had issues that day was Gemini. Other than that, it was like a pretty good day.
That's a ride that just shocks me. Like right now it's at 73% uptime.
Gemini.
And like,
okay, so it's somewhere in the middle.
It's I don't know, I find that weird though because it's such a stupidly simple ride. Like
it's been 70s, Bob.
I know, but
it's been eating downtime recently because it was that, and like one or two of them were struck by lightning during a storm. They had a couple of rides recently go down for a lightning strike, and like. Yeah, if you get lightning striking a ride out there, it doesn't just. It's not like, oh, lightning struck the ride, let's open it back up. It's like it destroys the entire system.
I mean that makes sense. That's an acceptable response, I suppose. But
yeah,
lightning's so weird. You think you're like, oh well, it's gonna hit Top Thrill 2, but no.
So what do you think is going to happen now? Because the Cedar Fair method. If they build a ride and it has high upkeep time and it's very popular, they stick with that manufacturer. They will buy more. That's what they do. So you can probably expect Vekoma to start popping up at some of these parks out here in the preferred Six Flags
the crazy
parks.
Thing, like. Gatekeepers is only 79%, Ruggaroos at 72%, Raptors at 66%.
What you call Rougarou? What was that name again?
Ruggaroo. I don't care. I don't care enough to learn the name. There are a few coasters that I could say burn in hell. That's one. Like I mean, I'm not gonna like call for its removal. If you like it, have at it, but you're not gonna break my heart if you get rid of that one.
It's not that bad. It's not great, but it's not that bad either.
Oh my god, it hurts so bad. That and Firebird.
Firebird's terrible, but it still is the smoothest BM in Maryland. But that's on that one at least has a clock. So like we already know it's only got 6 weeks left. So that's about it.
Oh, I'm so disappointed about that too. I love that park. I know people don't, but I love it.
No, it's a good park. I just visited. You're about to see an El Toro Ryan vlog from there. Me, him, and his family. All right, Six Flags American for the day. Yeah, got a good time there.
Nice. I really enjoy that park. Really seriously enjoy that park.
El Toro got the ride with her on the kitty credit.
Nice. That's the only credit I don't have in that park.
Oh well, you can probably get that. That's gonna probably get relocated.
Yeah, well,
I mean that's definitely one that can get relocated.
If I respond to that, we're going to get into a credit debate, and I'm not going to. I'm not going to go down that route. All right, so I guess we got to get into this other story that's really at this point in the game. It's like it really is a what the hell, because we don't know much, but somebody died on. Stardust Racers, and it's weird. The coroner has said that it is multiple blunt force injuries, and I like this is I don't even know where to go with this. Like, how do you even explain that? I mean,
one thing I haven't heard yet. I mean, granted, we're recording here on Thursday, and this just happened yesterday on Wednesday.
Right.
So it's still really fresh.
Yeah.
But
and by the time you're listening to this, you may know more than we know, so keep that in mind.
But one of the things that, normally when something like this happens or even comes close to happening, people normally start talking, that were on the train, on the ride, in the station. They saw the paramedics there. They saw this. They saw that. I mean, they're really quick to do that stuff, whether it's on social media or via a news agency, but haven't heard a peep from anybody anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's kind of weird.
There is some discussion on Reddit, which I like. I mean, anything on Reddit anymore, I kind of take with a grain of salt. But somebody did say they saw other witnesses stating that he passed out and he hit his head as a result of passing out. So, I mean, I guess I could see that, but like,
are they trying to insinuate that basically he was unconscious and hitting, like,
and that's what,
portions of the restraint, whether it be the side or and we talked about it prior to the recording, could have been the restraint from the other side, depending if they were sitting on the left or the right seat. If they were slumped over, or we like. A lot of factors can go into this, right? We don't know how tall this person was, how short they were. We have their age and their name, but like I'm not going to put it out there because we don't respect the family. But but it's just we don't know like their body, dynamics. If they were like larger or smaller, there's just a lot going into that, and we can only go based on what they kind of give it, and everything else right now is pure speculation. As you already mentioned, by the time this podcast comes out, there might be additional details that will go into that. It should never happen. It's something that is just very unfortunate for that. It's scary for the family. Bad publicity for the park for like such a good ride, and poor timing. This is opening year, and you've already got this already on the list of something that's already happened in one of your like one of the most arguably one of the most popular rides in the world currently.
Right. Yeah.
As far as like a new attraction, and I can't imagine what that family's going through. But I hope we get some details here so that way they can deem the ride to be safe. And we don't know. It could have been a precondition. I don't know. There's a lot of questions going on here.
There is actually somebody else that said they were there. They said they were there the day before, and like they kind of like, so this is kind of unrelated to the incident, but they were having a discussion with people like employees at the park, and one of them had actually said, and remember this is prior to it happening, they had actually said they had been having issues with people actually throwing stuff at the coaster, like from off the ride. So, I mean, I guess that's also maybe a possibility, but the multiple blunt force trauma kind of
multiple blunt force is probably not going to be anything kind of going on, and they've kind of like the ride itself. So like I don't think you guys have been there. I think we thought you guys have been there. The ride is set up in a way where you really can't even do that. Like what I mean, like you don't have access to the coaster at all. Like as far as even throw something on the ride, even the portion where it crosses over, it's got a cover over it, so that way it's like preventable. You can't even throw anything to the other train, like when you pass it. Now when you're launching, you can like go through, but you go through multiple metal detectors. So like you go through a wand down process first, then a metal detector, then another wand down process.
I don't think this is going to be anybody from on the ride. Like I don't think it's anybody on the ride through it. But.
And if you're off the ride, because the ride it's situated where it runs parallel to the land where Hiccups is, and the How to Train Your Dragon area, a la Burke. So it kind of runs like parallel to back, but you don't have access to it. So like where you walk into Stardust, you can't even like go next to any part of the ride at all off ride. So like there's kind of like no way that you can throw anything on it. The only location potentially would have to be in the queue line, but the queue line is situated where when you're in the queue line, you can only see the ride above you, and it's like a viewing tunnel, like a viewing like tunnel of it, but it's like 30-40 feet in the air. Like and it's like you're not even close to like where launch is. It's like the second launch or the first launch, but it's so far away that you can't even like access the ride at all. So like nobody. So I kind of find that weird because like there's really no access to this ride off ride to get close to it like at any point in the ride. It's like engineered in a way where like that's not like really possible. Like to do that. Like you would have to have like throw something like 150, 200 feet like at a force, like hard and with excellent timing in order to like hit something like that. Like it's like almost like impossible to do it.
And then that's kind of where I was coming back from too, because you would then get a bunch of people afterwards saying something came out, something flew into the train, something flew off of the train, something like that, but nothing. Quiet.
Because because I agree with that, because I would expect other passengers that were on the train with the individual to have said something like, hey, I saw this, like while like that was flying in the air, like while I was riding with it also as well. And he might have got, or the person sitting next to him, if there was somebody sitting next to him, we don't know. Like if that's like kind of clear also. And we don't know where he was sitting. At least I don't know. I haven't seen anything else. So I don't know if he was in the front row, if he was in the back, in the middle. I'm not sure, like where his ride position was either. But we got questions. I hope by the time this podcast airs that there's more answers. But the fact that we're even having this conversation is just incredible. It's unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable. Because we have Ryan the mechanic here. Roller coasters are so safe. Right. Like they're so safe.
Yeah.
Especially at a park like Universal. This
isn't their first rodeo.
Right. They are. Well, let's go back to Rip Ride Rocket. Like all the problems with that, the fact that they prevented anything from happening on that ride shows how much they really focus on making sure rides are safe. That was even to the point of them telling the manufacturer no, just no, we're not doing it that way, and in an effort to keep it safe. So that's the thing is this is Universal. This isn't Wisconsin Dells. Oh wait, did I say that out loud?
No, it's okay. Mount Olympus. I can say it for you.
Yeah, that's that.
I got you.
It's weird. There is another. I'm actually going to add. I just found this article. I'm going to add to the rundown as well. A witness on the train, was interviewed by whoever Click Orlando is, whatever news they are, but they had actually said it looked like they had a broken leg, which is another weird thing. And that might be, again, this is speculation, so I don't want to go too far, but I don't know. No, I'm just gonna stop. I'm not gonna go into that because I don't think it's fair. But this person did say that it looked like they had a broken leg and a bloody nose on the
broken leg. That's so weird.
Yeah. Now, again, this is a witness, so this isn't coming from the coroner or anything like that.
Right.
And the coroner might not mention it's possible that it that wouldn't show up in the autopsy report because that would be that could be a secondary injury or something, and just may not even be the case. And this person said they kind of thought that they were already dead there, which, being somebody that drove an ambulance, I know that you don't, if it's a younger person, you try not to declare death at scene. Just because it's you don't want to, you want to give the image of life-saving, measures being taken. And there was one instance where I recall, I actually ran a it was a cardiac arrest, and the paramedics knew on site there was nothing, but we on the radio, radioing dispatch, we're beginning transport, blah, 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 turned the lights and sirens on. We pulled out of the driveway and immediately turned the lights and sirens off, and they pronounced it there. But it's more of a letting the family deal with stuff in a slower, type of thing. So it's possible that was the case there. I don't know. It's crazy though. It's the, it's the out of nowhere type thing. It just seems like this, even pre-existing conditions, this is still just such a weird thing, which I think there's a likelihood that might come out, that, maybe he had something that was pre-existing, he passed out. But it's like I kind of think, like, just trying to think to myself, like, where do you, with a lap bar, like, what are you hitting your face off of? Like, are you actually literally bending? Like, how I cannot get my face to go towards anything that would hit. You know, like, maybe that's just me. You know, but like, I don't know. It's like it's a weird thing to me. Like, I can understand going unconscious on a ride, but like it's so weird.
All I can think of is the side. You know, there's nothing really in front on that ride that I can, you know, I'm thinking of the train setup. It's like, I don't think there's really anything in front that you can get to, but like on every time on a Rapids ride when people were injured on the ride, it was always because they tried to dodge the waterfall because they were on a water ride but didn't want to get wet.
Right, yeah. As
so
you do.
They tried to dodge the waterfall, so they would always stand up, lean to one side, and then they would hit the dip and they'd hit their head right on the fiberglass. So almost every time it was a side blow to and that's what I'm thinking of. It's like, okay, don't those have the kind of arms that go up like towards the back of your shoulders? Basically, they mount up in that back area.
Yeah, Myke does have those, like, kind of like the seats kind of do curve around you, don't they?
Yeah, so I'm wondering, like, were they able to get to the left or, depending on where they're sitting, the left or the right side and basically hit the side? Because Myke says it's really smooth. It's like, great.
Smooth ride.
Yeah, so it doesn't have a lot of that hard lateral force on it. But I mean, if your body is limp and you don't have any muscles supporting you at all, it's like, how smooth is it?
Yeah.
You know, not to take lightly on the situation, but, you know, literally being tossed around like a rag doll is not too far-fetched to think of getting your head to the side to impact maybe a metal arm or something on that restraint.
I got a question. What about hitting your head on the actual seat, like as you're riding it, like just like hitting it, like going back? As far as that, like, would that be enough as far as to like impact like the skull or the brain or like that at all? As far as to like cause anything? I mean, this is all I can think about. Like as far as like, because the way you know the way Ryan is describing it is like correct. You know, like there's nothing there. You can't hit the front. You can't really hit the, so I'm just trying to, and if no one's throwing anything at you, because you know, the report says multiples. I'm just trying to, you know, we can't see we're just trying to figure out like exactly how like something can happen, because I agree. I think we all agree. We're like, we don't want to see it happen again.
Right.
And like, that's the thing that the park is going to figure out, right? That they're going to do everything they power to say, what can we do before we turn this thing back on? So that, like, that way, you know, this is why it's so important to figure out if you had a pre-existing condition or if it's something that was there before, or like, do we have an issue with our seat, or do we have an issue with our restraint, or do we have an issue where like this is something that's, you know, that could be, even if it's like a 0.0001% likely to happen again, you've got to like get rid of you got to figure it out.
It's just, yeah, so, it really is. It's like, I think that, like, that's the thing that's going through my mind is like, I'm like running through. I mean, I guess the only train that I've been on that would be similar would be like Copperhead Strike, right?
That's correct. It's almost like a similar, like it's almost like a similar bill for like Copperhead Strike, same like Time Traveler.
Yeah, I've not been on Time Traveler, but like, yeah,
okay, like the seats are like pretty much like all the same. Like that's how the seats are.
Yeah,
spacious, comfortable, nothing like really in your way. I mean, like it's. I'm kind of confused. I've ridden Stardust a lot, and so like on both sides, you know, and I'm just kind of perplexed of like just how it's like even possible to like even do something like that as well too, and so. I'm just So we're just, you know, I wish we were Batman. You know, he's the world's greatest detective. Where we can just kind of like get in on that.
Ryan just sent this picture of the train, and I do see like the seat. Yeah, it's like I thought the Myke seats kind of curve around you. So
they curve around.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I could see is, but like even so, like it seems like, I mean, unless he was shorter, but like it seems like It seems like
I mean, like,
a stretch to get down to that point.
It's like hard to to really even if you're not even even if you're not even moving, it's like I don't really know that. Like I said, that's why I said the only thing I can think of is if you're hitting your head like just back on the actual like kitchen seats like repeatedly, and I'm just even then I'm just kind of like I don't even know.
Got a
like,
nice headrest.
Yeah. But that, like, the thing is, which I agree with you, Mike. Like that would be it. But that doesn't really explain the bloody nose, does? Unless it's that might actually go to pre-existing, because if it was an aneurysm that burst, you blood's going somewhere. Like it was a bloody nose, but not really a bloody nose. I don't want to. You can infer what I'm saying there. I don't want to go into detail.
Right.
But I guess that's a.
I don't have. I mean,
the only thing that really makes sense. It's weird.
I've got 2 times in the entire time I was working out there. It's got 2 times that someone has died at the park. 2 times on rides where people have died at the park, and basically both times were aneurysms. Yeah. One, I believe, was pre-existing that they knew about, and the person was told, you shouldn't be doing stuff like crazy things like riding on rides and stuff like that. And the other one was that had no pre-existing condition, and doctors are like, yeah, you don't really know about them, you can't really see them, there's no warning signs, there's no nothing, you just aneurysm. But what's so I mean, like, I could see that, but at the same time, what's so weird about this is the physical injury. It is.
Yes.
It's these other things. It's like,
that's the thing that's confusing. That's the thing that just doesn't
going
fit.
on.
It's a really weird scenario. So like, the blunt force injury. But I guess that like they really aren't saying where the blunt force injury was. But see, like that would. If it was an aneurysm, I would think that would come out in the autopsy report. Like that would be.
You would think so. Yeah.
That would be a contributing factor.
Or they haven't said it yet. Like we may have just a partial report. On there as well, not the full report. We don't know. We don't know.
That's true, but it was enough to say this is the cause of death, and it's the blunt force trauma, which is so weird. I mean, especially looking now, it's like we're sitting here talking about this. I'm looking at pictures of the trains and the restraints and stuff. It's like now after looking at a bunch of pictures of it fresh in my mind, it's like I don't even know how that stuff would have happened.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, it's like that's what I was just running through, like any kind of lap bar only restraint.
Yeah.
Like the whole point of it is to make you feel open, to keep you away from things. Like that's the whole reason for that type of restraint. So, it's just kind of like it's a weird thing. Now I will say like what Mike was saying with the like bouncing your head off the back. I mean, I've had that happen. Like not that like it was a dangerous thing, but like I've got a headache by like moving in the wrong position at the wrong time, where like the train would move and I'd like kind of, I've done it in a car, so like I could see that if you pass out and you're limp, like I could see your head banging against the back of the seat.
Well, here's the only way I can guess, right?
That's the only thing I can think of.
My part. The only thing I can think of, right, is that, because it's a multi-launch roller coaster, right? And so the only thing I can think about is that we don't know at what time he might have like went unconscious, and then, so let's say he might have like the initial first launch because it's like a double launch, but it's not, right? So it's an initial launch and it crosses over the transfer track and then it boosts again, right? Because it gets a little faster. So it could have been a situation where he could have been up, launch, like hit his head, maybe kind of went unconscious, kind of like ragged all through the ride, and then it launches again, like in the middle of the ride again too. So he could have been like slumped over, and then like as it launched, it could have like pushed him back again into the seat again.
Yeah, that would make sense. I could see that.
Like that's the only like thing I can think of, honestly, as far as like the multiple like blunt force trauma. If it's like like to the head, like going through that, that's about it. But he would have had to be like something would have had to have caused him to go unconscious in the first place, which could have been something else. And then that, him being out and then like, being like multi-launch and then it launches, then you go up a hill, then you would kind of invert. So I don't know. But like the only snapback moments like that, as far as like where you can like full force. And the launch is not like super intense or super strong, but it's enough if you're not paying attention, because it's almost 60 miles an hour. So like, if it's enough you're not paying attention, like it possibly can do that. That's the best I got. Other than that, I can't for the life of me see any other way, based on the construction of the ride vehicle, the restraint, how much space there is between the car and the car in front of you, nothing on the side of you at all. I mean, like there's it's like difficult to understand it. And if the other working theory is if somebody somehow threw something on the ride, and it hit the person, whatever, it would have to be, it would have to be like a. I'm not even sure how that could have happened, but anything's possible. Like how that could have happened, and if that's the case, then that's the worst case scenario for the park. If that happened, so because this is their second time Universal's done a dueling ride, which is built to duel and built in a way to do it, and then you've got human error interfering with the ability to actually let the ride construct the way it is, which is a terrible shame. Going forward on there, but this is baffling, man. It's kind of baffling that this just happened.
Well, and it's also this is not this may only be like the third or so coaster that we have with these trains in the U.S., but these trains are everywhere in Europe. It's not like it's like a. Yeah. It might be new to us, but this is not a new train style. This is the same trains that Myke has been using for a long time, and we have the tame ones over here. Like all their crazy shit is overseas, so it's it's weird. Like if something like this was going to happen, you would think it would be on the crazier, the ones with the higher forces than, but and. Weird stuff happens. You always have
this ride is probably cooked for a minute. Cause they're gonna have to, there's gonna be a lot of legalities in this is involved also. So this is gonna be, unfortunately, like a big hit to this park, in its inaugural season, as far as at the end, because I know the park was doing extremely well, and it's like prime time go to attraction as soon as you walk into the park,
right?
It is like now off the plate, and it's the highest capacity ride at the park. It's actually the only major high capacity coaster in the entire park. But in closing, man, hey, just sad for the family. It shouldn't happen, man. We just definitely want to thoughts and prayers with that family and condolences for them, and staff also as well, and all the responders who did everything they could to try to save this person's life. Yeah, and we hope everything gets worked out in a way where we can figure out what happened so that can never happen again.
Yeah,
it's extremely tough on the crew working, because everyone there is going to feel responsible in some way, shape, or form. And even though if they had crystal clear everything that said nope, you're 100% not responsible, it's still something that weighs you down, and that crew is going to have a hard recovery from that.
Yeah. I can't imagine that the security measures that they're probably going to install, because after the aftermath of this, even if it comes back deemed that that it was just a freak accident, right? Just the right consequences, the right situation, all things just happen to occur at all the right time. Right. They're still going to probably input some measures on this ride, and security measures for safety, just so they can give peace of mind for the general public, and people going we're enthusiasts and mechanics and engineers inside, so we can we know generally how rides work and how everything goes around, but the common person is going to look at it their thought process today is that ride killed somebody. Right. Yeah. That's the way it looks right now. Yeah. And that's the way it sounds.
That's the unfortunate thing too. And it's just
and it's in Orlando, after we just had the situation a couple years ago with the drop tower. So now they're what, they're going to have to be extra sensitive now to okay, we had a situation with a ride literally within sight of this park. And then now we have this ride that's kind of it's awful.
I'll be honest with you, I don't have any faith in Florida actually doing anything. Like the fact that the guy that operated that drop tire is still running rides in the state of Florida does not give me any confidence in Florida actually enforcing safety. Like, but Universal will. Like,
yeah,
like Universal will get to the bottom of this, and they will take action on this. I hope. I mean, as we knew Universal before, they would. So I expect the same to happen.
I mean, this is literally a competition for their best park ever built. Yeah. $7 million project, $7 billion. Oh yeah, they're going to do everything they can.
Yep.
Everything they can. I agree with that.
Yeah. So all right, we'll move on to. This is going to be a fight.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So the media is now catching wind to how shitty Cedar Point is. Myke, not so much.
No? Favorite Cedar Fair Park.
There is no such thing as a Cedar Fair Park.
Yep, favorite Six Flags Legacy Cedar Fair Park that used to be a Cedar Fair owned park. Yeah, absolutely. Six Flags merge change, however you want to say. Six Flags Entertainment Park, best one. Still the best one. Absolutely.
Except you can't ride anything.
I had a great visit there in June before I went to Japan. Great visit. Had a great day.
I don't have a ton of experience at this park, but I can tell you that the 5 or 6 parks that I visited on my Northeast American tour, my taste buds can tell the difference between a Cedar Fair and a Six Flags park.
Oh God, yes,
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there definitely is there's still that, but from a management point of view, it's Six Flags. It's all full Six Flags. And I like, honestly, I even before the merger, I'm on record. Go back to previous episodes. I had been saying like Cedar Fair they did not collapse into Six Flagsism, but they were flirting with it.
I love this.
They were flirting with it. They were kind of like going more towards that direction. And like it's Zimmerman. It really is. Like it really changed when Zimmerman took the reins. I wasn't a huge fan of Ouimet, but he actually had some passion for the industry. And I mean, the fact that he even said, like he came out in that article and said the reason why he stepped down was because he knew this was coming, and he did not want to be part of the reason why good quality people were going to be let go. He came out and said that. So, I mean, he saw this coming, and he was like, I know, like, you know, he was just like, I know where they're going, and I don't want to go that way. I don't agree with it. So he jumped ship before it actually happened. And Zimmerman had no problem taking the reins and saying, oh yeah, we're just, you know, we'll just be another Six Flags. And people are noticing. It's not like this is not a Thursday thing anymore. Like this is the public. There's a lot of people, like even with these insane pass sales, like there's people passing on it. Like they don't want to go. They don't want to go to these parks. I'm one of them. Like it's just not like I'm tired of the nickel and diming. It's just rampant. And like anything in park is so expensive. And like, you know, in Thursday, like you look on Reddit, everybody is like just all over themselves about, oh, how cheap the pass is. But like, it's not. You're going to pay for that next year. You're already paying for it by going to Haunt. You bought the pass, you were expecting to get your Haunt, and then all of a sudden after you bought the pass, they're already saying, oh, hey, by the way, you have to pay extra for your Haunt now. You know, what else is coming down the pipe? Like they're gonna come up with other stuff to nickel and dime. It's just, you know, and I can't not bring up the $15 magnet. Like $15 magnets, $9 stickers. No, come on now. This is stupid. Stupid. And I don't like you what they're doing, you know, they have this press release like, oh, season pass sales are up. Well, of course they're up. You're giving them away. Like, yeah, they're going to be up. But like, you're not going to sustain this. Like they're creating instances where like it's like a, it's like, oh, like oh, we're, people are all over us because our season pass sales are down. Okay, well let's make them almost nothing to buy. And then, people buy, but like if they don't enjoy themselves in the park, they're not going to come back. So you're burning that bridge. Like you might increase. It's like a hot burn. You light up lighter fluid and it burns hot, but it goes quick. And that's kind of where I think that's where we're at. It's like they're like, throw some lighter fluid on and get us through this section, and then we'll deal with we'll get to a point where there's nothing else to burn, and then I guess that's time for bankruptcy. And I really don't think Six Flags is going to survive long term. They're gonna have to shed stuff. They're gonna this. I don't think it's gonna continue. And it's like this one news report, like, it's not just me. Like, this is not just a Thuzy community thing saying like, oh yeah, this is a problem. Like, this is the general public saying like, I don't want to deal with this. Well,
I disagree with everything you said except for that last part. I do think because the company's already they're already $500 million in debt as it pertains to like just from I'm just talking purely from financials, not from park operation or atmosphere. Because I got a ton of coworkers that hadn't been to Kings Dominion and forever, that all went this year, had a great time. And like Road Rap Terror loved it, all that kind of stuff. Only the enthusiasts really hate it, or have a problem or issue with it, but the general public love it. And it's going to hit over 1 million riders. So because of that, because of the popularity of the ride, it's imbalanced. My home park, Kings Dominion, which also got called out in the second quarter report of that's actually exceeding what it was actually its targeted goal was for the year. So it's thriving. I think we discussed earlier about the smaller parks, like if you're not among their treat. So even it's Six Flags on, right, which I agree with, right, and I do agree they got too many properties because there's just no way you can manage this many properties under one roof to try to be profitable. You have to cut limbs somewhere, and that's that part I definitely agree with you about. I think they're gonna if you keep going, which you'll see in this next investment call, where we're not getting a whole new a lot of investment because it all came this past year. But 26 won't have a whole lot of new rides that are going to have to sustain the crowd flow to kind of see which ones they want to kind of keep this. Like next year is like a target season, right? They're going to see, okay, we got the season pass going, we gave you access to all the parks. Let's see where they want to go. Basically, let's see what parks these people they want to go to. And so,
but let me ask this. What was the point of merging?
They're gonna have to cut costs on theirs. Going both companies were having issues. Both companies were having profitability issues ever since COVID. So it's never been, in my opinion, the park experience. It's just this is the backlash of what happens when you had COVID for 19 and 2020, and now you're seeing the reciprocal trickle down effect of what happened as a few years later. As far as we didn't have access to parks in certain states and regulations as far as to get attendance, and you couldn't, and we had parks closed for a year. And so now you're trying to get people out of the house, and then the people who were stuck in the house and never got back out, or the travel people who got comfortable being at home, even people that work to this day. I live in North Virginia. People are there are so many people who don't want to go to the government, who don't want to go to DC because they just got comfortable being at home. And they're having a hard time just getting people back on the road. Just hey, come into the office. When they're well, I was able to do that for 2 or 3 years at home. I want to be able to keep doing that. And so it's the same thing for any kind of business aspect going around, which is why restaurants chains are going down. Different kind of businesses are also closing down that have been around for a long period of time. It's people just don't want to get out of the house and kind of move around. So that's got to take a little bit to get there. And so in order to do that with this economy, which isn't doing great, obviously, either as well too, you had to bring down the price of the parks in order to get people in there, and they're trying to build the in-cost spending in order to make revenue. So in order to do that, you've got to get people who normally wouldn't spend, who are not going to spend $60 for a day, but hey, here's $100 at all the Cedar for Legacy parks. They're cheaper if you're at the Legacy Six Flags park. I think the highest one is Magic Mountain, I think it's $75 for season pass. But if you're at Cedar Fair Legacy Park, like the main ones, Carowinds, KI, Knott's, KD, Canada, and Cedar Point, it's $100. But all the other ones, like Great Adventure, Dorney, Sunnywell, 12, 75, 70-something dollars, 55 for some of the smaller ones also as well. So they're just trying to get the people to say, okay, here's your season pass. Will you go at least 2 or 3 times? And if they can do that, they've made it. Right, like they've made it. Can you go 2 or 3 times? Because like they're trying to get the people who would never go to step into the park 2 or 3 times.
Right,
and because I have access, I have access to other parks that are regional. If I'm a Carowinds person, it's like now I can drive 3 hours to over Georgia. I can to go to a park that I never would have visited, but now I have access to it. I'll make a trip down there. I was like, or if I'm in Kings Dominion, like sadly that's with America, but like now I can go to Carowinds and I can go to Great Adventure, or I can go to Dorney, or I can go here within a 4-hour drive. But see, I might do that.
Here's the thing, though, and I don't disagree with what you said about them, like saying, "Oh, let's get people that haven't been in the parks into the parks." I completely agree with that. But the reason why they're at that point is because the people that had been going to their parks don't want to go anymore. Like it's not the same experience.
I'm not sure about that. I don't think they can
like Kings Dominion
anymore. Afford to go anymore.
You're looking through Kings Dominion's eyes, which I think is a very unique park in this massive chain, because it's one of the few parks that actually got some theming. It got some. It is unlike any other.
Much, yeah, it's true. It pretty much got it. Got the dining. It got the atmosphere. Right. It got the new shiny new coaster. It's got the theming elements on there, and they're still ramping it up, right? Like they're still doing more and they're kind of providing as well. But
see, here's the thing.
This is where me and you agree on, right? Like the other parks, like the Dorneys. And I'm sorry to even say this, like the Great Adventure, like those kind of they're just like
show.
gutting the hell out of this park, like gutting the hell out of this park, or some of those small like Michigan's Adventures, or this is why the World of Fun people who are over here like losing their minds about Timberwolf, and I'm like, I don't know if that's going to be what y'all think it's going to be.
It better not be what they think it's going to be.
Temper expectations, in my opinion. I'm skeptical on that RMC. So I know that's like the little rumor going on. I'm not there yet on that park, but like some of those smaller market parks, I think are going to be a victim of the merge. This is where you and I agree on. Like I think eventually what's going to happen is they're going to identify their 12 to 16 parks, and then they're going to say, okay, we know that we can. I don't think it even cares about territory, because I know somebody was trying to tell me about the Great Adventure being in that Philadelphia, New York, Jersey like area as far as that demographic in that radius or whatever. And I'm like, they don't care, because like Cedar Fair didn't have it before, so like they're not going to care like later on. Now all they're going to care about is profitability. But if they could, I think, and also, I don't know if that's going to be a part that's going to go through, even with their new coaster coming.
One of the things I think we differ on, though, is Cedar Point. I think Cedar Point has so much potential if they actually would focus on the guest experience, but they don't. And it becomes, they have great coasters, and that draws everybody in. But the problem is the experience while you're there just isn't on par with many other parks. And I'm talking like a King's Dominion or a Knoebels or even a Kennywood. Like, the experience of being at Cedar Point just is not what it should be, especially for the poster child that it's supposed to be.
Well, tell me directly about that, right? Because I hear that, right? Like people talk about experience. Like my experience, right? I went in June, had a great time. I am about Fastlane. I am vehemently against Fastlane. I hate the thought process.
I think that's the biggest thing that kills Cedar Point.
I think that's the
first and foremost
thing I can't stand, right? I hate that, right? But it's necessary in certain parts. I hate it, but I think it's what the Canada's Wonderland. I'm like, oh my god, you can't even have a day here, without this fast lane. It's not even.
The thing
possible.
is, though, I'm not against fast lane. It's the unlimited fast lane that's the problem. And this is where the problem comes in. You and I can go to Cedar Point. We've rode everything. So if we don't get on everything, it's not a big deal. But these people that they're selling these cheap passes to get them in for the first time, they're going to go to that park, and their first visit's probably going to be during Haunt, and they're going to get on 3 rides, and they're going to be like, what the hell? And like that's the problem. You go to Cedar Point and you're rushed. You got to do this. You don't have time to slow down and take it in. You just have to get here. You have to get here. Because that's the only way you're going to get on probably not even all of the rides. And, and then you start dealing with like the downtime that has been an issue with Cedar Point. Like I have been there so many times where multiple coasters are down. And I get like, I'm with Ryan. Like I understand the mechanical, like this, like shit happens, but like there's a point where I think there's a point where Cedar Point is actually just closing rides that might not even have an issue because like whether it be staff shortages or we just don't want to pay somebody like that, which gets into the other thing that Six Flags and Cedar, like Legacy Cedar Fair, like now they're doing it double time is we've talked about on the show. It's like, we're going to close the park. We're going to send employees home early. Well, those employees are now like, they're making $5 less an hour than they were 3 or 4 years, even just 2 years ago, I think. And on top of that, they're constantly getting their hours cut. They're going to work and then being told, there's a gentle breeze coming in, you get to go home. And like these people they're not able to pay their bills. And you can't you remember when Cedar Point, you used to go there, every ride operator was having the time of their life. They were having a good time. They enjoyed what they were doing. They were getting things moving. Ops were incredible. None of that's not the case anymore. There's so many miserable employees because they're being abused. And that shows. Like, I know from a manager, they're looking at it and they're like, oh, look, we're saving money. Like, we need to cut costs. Which I understand from, you have to function as a business, but at the same time, when you cut into the experience, you're shooting yourself in the foot because those people are going to the parks and they're like, this is ridiculous. I want to ride this ride. Like, you have all these great coasters. I only get to pick 2 and I spent how much money to get here? And like now I have to get a locker for which is the other thing. Like the cost of lockers are going up. You go to Carowinds, you can't even get a movable locker. It's literally a per ride transaction. Every time you want to ride one of the rides that requires a locker, there's a fee involved. You can't. People, it's those things that you can't like. I can sit here and complain about those, and people are like, well, that's not that big of a deal. And I agree. But the problem is when you go there, and this is a day of all of these little tiny things that don't really matter, that all adds up. And at the end of the day, you're like, God, that was annoying. Yeah, I loved Still Vengeance, but God, that was so annoying. That was such a miserable day.
So, well, I don't know. So, because everybody who I went to Cedar Point with, we all had a great time. So I'm not quite sure. But I'll say this: you compared it right. You mentioned like Kennywood, Knoebels, other parts as well that you might go to. First thing about Cedar Point is you already this is what Ryan is as well too. It's not a 1-day park visit. So you don't go to Cedar Point for a 1-day park visit. It is a multiple park destination. It's built to be in a resort. That's why it has an on-site hotel. Why it has direct access to go in and go out where you don't have to rush your day. You can say, hey, on day 1, maybe I'll just stick to this side of the park and ride these 4 or 5, and then tomorrow I'll come ride these other ones also as well. Similarly, kind of like Canada's Wonderland, where like I said, where you kind of there's so many. It's the park with one of the most coaches in the United States, and so the expectation is this park's gonna be very busy. It's got one of the most coaches in the United States.
It's not in the United States.
It's in the United States. It's right there. It's
Canada's Wonderland. It's literally right there in the name. Canada's Wonderland.
No, I'm talking about Cedar Point.
Oh,
it's
I'm sorry.
Cedar Point
I thought you said Canada's Wonderland.
Cedar Point's
gotcha.
one that has one of those coaches. So because of that, like it has one of the most focus in any park. So you can't expect it to be a day like Knoebels that has like 6 or 7 roller coasters on it, or a park that, or like Kennywood that has like 7. Like where you can kind of go in and knock it out in the day and then you're fine, or a park or a park like Holiday World that has like 6 that doesn't even offer fast lane, which I like, by the way. You can do that, but like if you're going in knowing there's 19 roller coasters, there's 2 different kids sections. I'm on a beach, I'm on a peninsula, I've got a water park, I've got restaurants inside and outside, I've got a pavilion, I've got all these things here. That's a destination park, meaning like people know ahead of time when he's planning, we're probably spending 2 to 3 days here. So, but if you're going there thinking I'm just going to try to knock this out on a Saturday, like just to go in here and just fast lane up and get it out in a Saturday, you're going to have your expectations will not be met, because like that's not the expectation of that park.
But even if
where others are designed to be a 1-day park, or they could be designed to be a 2-day park, or you can kind of slow your day down. Like a Kings Island or like a Kings Dominion or like a Carowinds, you can do those parks in a single day, because like they don't have the extensive layout or extensive like ride collection or the same kind of crowds. Because I can tell you right now, I went to Canada's Wonderland, and then this is me comparing to Canada's Wonderland. I walked in out of there, I was like, this is the busiest park I have ever been to. I was like,
feels that way.
I've been hearing that from a lot of people.
I was like, I could not believe what I was looking at. But you know what I learned though, Bob? They all love going there. So it doesn't matter if Wild Beast is an hour and a half, terrible rough clone version of Grizzly that runs like straight shit. They're gonna wait an hour and a half, 2 hours to ride it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter like what the water park is like 5 acres big when it should be way bigger, or the fact that it's fully developed. It's the only show in town. It's popular for everybody else, and that place is just flooded with people. I'm talking, you got an hour and a half wait for your major rides before rope drop. It's nuts.
But at the same time, though, Canada's Wonderland,
it showed me one operating restaurant in the entire park the weekend that I went. One operating indoor restaurant. Line is out the Guardians Mountain. I'm just like, this is outrageous. Came back the next day on a Monday, was busier. I mean, so I'm just like, you know what? It's like they're gonna go out there and spend. They're gonna have their good time. But you also, I think just like Canada's Wonderland, not compared to Kings, comparing it to Cedar Point, because of like the size of their ride collection, because they got so many rides in the park. People know it's like, this is not a 1-day thing. Like you're not coming here for a day. You're coming here for multiple days when you visit. And you have to set that expectation. Like, okay, I'm not just gonna I'm not gonna just walk in here on a weekend and haunt and just like expect to get anything. Even with a fast lane, expect to get anything.
Even so,
I know if I'm bringing my family, I'm coming for like 3-4 days, like 2, 3, 4 days, to come through. But if you have to have that expectation, like when you go to like those kind of parks.
But what I'm saying is though, like even if you go 2 days to Cedar Point, it's still not like, you still feel rushed. You still got it. Like, you can't. I don't know. Like, I mean, Universal does it so much better. That's a destination park, and like, it's like it's. I guess it's kind of a tough sell. Like, you want a destination park? Like, I don't think people want Cedar Point to be a destination park.
Oh, it's definitely a destination.
I'm not
park.
saying it's not. I'm saying that it's like. Well, I also think that they kind of lost their way. They don't know what they want to be either. Because for a while they were like pushing the beach, and then like it's like, oh well, let's take the focus off of thrill rides, and then all of a sudden they're like putting thrill rides back in. It's like, well, you're not. You want to be a destination, and one of the things with a destination park is you need the family atmosphere, and I think that's one of that's a drawback. I mean, they did add the mouse, which is something. But I still think that there's such a gap at Cedar Point to really accommodate an entire family.
Well, that's where this is where me and you are seeing different visions, right? So I don't look at Cedar Point, for me personally, it's like, this is like the family park, right? I look at it as like it's a thrill park.
But you can't
it is young. I'm just like, they are what they are. I look at someone like Dollywood, that is straight family park, right? Like that is a place you take your grandma, your grandkids, the family. You relax out there, and like you can tell based on the rides they put in their park that they are all about families. And so like when I see these YouTubers or somebody like Dollywood's next coach is going to be a B&M Hyper, like that's not what they're going to do. Like that's not their target audience. Their target audience is they want everybody. They want you to come to their park, stay the entire day, to relax, slow down, and like look at everything and take your time. Like that's what they are, and their rides kind of reflect that. Like they built 3 straight family rides, and they got another one coming that we'll talk about later, and another one coming that is, and which because it's like they're not building these big old like. Well, meanwhile, the competitor we're talking about, Cedar Point, has just remodeled Top Thrill dragster, brought in Siren's Curse, brought in an RMC Hyper, like, and they mixed in a little Wild Mouse. You know, so like they know what they are. But let me point something out. Big time rides to throw families like we know what we are.
Let me throw this at you. What's a big difference between Universal and Dollywood versus Cedar Point? Universal and Dollywood don't nickel and dime you.
Yes, they do.
Not like Cedar Point does.
They don't nickel and dime you. Really? Where's the drink plan and the dining plan at Dollywood? I was looking at that. You have to buy everything at those parks. Like hold up. Their upfront cost is higher, so that way you don't have to mitigate that, right?
But buying food,
you got $128 day ticket, so that way you don't have to worry about paying for a locker, whereas you're paying $40 for a reasonable park.
If that's what you have to do, Cedar Fair or Six Flags, do that. Because that's the thing that gets me. And here, like, okay, now let me talk to Maritime Myke. You go on cruises, right? What's the thing about a cruise?
Just get back.
You pay a price and you're done, right?
No.
You were bragging about how like it was an all-inclusive thing, and you got there and like all your drinks, like all your food, everything was done.
Yeah, but like that doesn't come with it. You have to get those things like on there if you want it or not. So like when you buy the cruise, yeah, you get like the main dining. But if you want the excursions to go, like when you get off the ship, you got to pay for that. If you want the drink plan to like be able to drink as much as you want, you got to pay for that. If you want to have the access to the balcony, you got to upcharge pay for that. If you want to sit out there and go out there and do expedite dining to have specialty dining, that costs more money also. Like when you're on the ship.
But the thing is. The thing is,
you plan ahead and say, "Hey, you know what? I bought that.
That's the thing.
Choose this. I choose this. I choose this."
And that's the thing
to make my experience better.
But even that, though, that's still a different thing. You can budget that. You're not like paying for something, and then you get to the park and you're like, "Oh, wait, now I have to pay for this. I have to pay for this." Like food, okay. Like I don't. Unless it's like extremely high priced, which sometimes it is, but like I don't really consider food nickel and diming. That's my personal opinion. But
what about internet? You got to pay for internet. If you want to have internet, you got to pay for the Wi-Fi. That's not included. If you want, like I said, like everything.
If I go on
has
a cruise,
cost,
I don't want internet. I don't want to be connected. I want to get away.
That's a good point. Like I said,
feature.
It's a good point.
I consider that a feature.
Good point. It's a good point. But someone like me, right? I want to check in and make sure, like, how's the house doing? So I want to check my cameras on the house and make sure the house is doing well. In case of an emergency, I want to make sure I'm able to be contacted. If I need somebody to send me an email or something goes through, I want to be able to have access, like, to that, just in case something goes wrong, or like, or I know you guys probably saw that Poop Cruise documentary on Netflix, right? Like, I want to be able to have access when something goes wrong, or the ship is stuck in the ocean.
I know what you're talking about, though. I didn't see the documentary,
when the ship is stuck in the ocean for like a week because they lost everything. Like, okay, you know what? This is what's going on, and if you don't like this is what's going on, you might want to send somebody to like tow us back to like Miami or something like something like that. That would be nice, but. No, yeah. So like you have to. So, but if you come on a cruise and you don't know anything, right? Like if you just show up there and your first time going, you're like, hey, you want to walk in? That restaurant looks nice. I want to eat there. You're like, you gotta pay extra for this. You have access to the buffet in the main dining room only. But if you want ice cream, you got to pay for it. You want coffee extra, you didn't get the coffee card, you got to pay for the extra coffee. You don't even get soda on a cruise. You just get tea, water, lemonade. But if you want to drink soda or like Coke, Sprite, soda, additional coffee, smoothies, all that stuff, that's all extra also as well. But it's all part of the planning ahead of time. Now, me, Airtime Myke, likes to plan ahead of time. And so I get all that stuff ahead of time knowing, okay, cool. I'm not going to go on a cruise and get disappointed because I don't have access, or I see them going around and they're, hey, how come they get priority elevator access when they swipe their thing up and it goes straight to them, but I got to wait in line to go to the 8th floor, but it came straight to him and it skipped my floor to the 12th floor. It's like, well, I got the additional access on my swipe card to take me right to my room because I'll pay a little extra for that. So yeah, in life, it's like everything's all about experiences kind of coming through when you go on there, but like that's the expectation. And those parks, you talk about frustration. That's why I personally don't like Disney parks, right? Because you have to have a full on story, like a month preparation before you even walk into a Disney park. Yeah, and see Ryan, like you gotta have like a full on like 3 months. Yeah, Ryan, he's been nodding his head like like I actually don't know which side Ryan's listening on. He's just there. He's just I actually want to hear from him actually because like he's heard us both speak, but I actually want to kind of hear his thought process. Yeah. I kind of want to hear his thought process on it. Actually,
this is absolutely great. I got both sides going on, and both sides are very adamant about it, and I can totally see both sides. I mean, I got Mike's like, okay, you plan, you go there, you know what you're getting into, and Bob's more of the sporadic, like, I'm not going to plan so much. I'm going to show up. I'm going to be there. But then Bob's also got like I want Cedar Point to be a single day park when like I agree with Mike, it's not a single day park. It's like it's a 2, 3, maybe even a 4-day park. Cause I mean, when I went there, everyone was like, oh, how many days did you spend there? It's like, I was there 1 day. And it was like, what the F? Like, you only went there for 1 day? It's like, yeah, I had so many other things going on. We just planned the 1 day. And I knew when we were looking at the trip, I knew it wasn't going to be enough. But whatever we got on that 1 day was going to be it. It's like, okay, that was it. We're moving on from there. But that's the fun part. You guys have both such good sides here, and such, and the thoughts are well organized. This just reinforces that I can never ever do any sort of debating ever because my brain does not work this way whatsoever. I'm still like, Bob will go and then Mike will go, and I'm still like halfway through Mike. I'm sitting here going, wait, what did Bob say? I was like, what's going on here? My brain does not work that fast.
And I do agree with the 2-day thing, but like I just think like the lines are ridiculous for like. Listen, if you want to boil this down, this boils down to 2 major things with Cedar Point for me. It's the fast lane. Fast lane is a problem. It screws everything up. It makes it miserable for everybody. And the other thing is the stupid lockers. You should not have to pay for a locker for safety reasons. Like, that is ridiculous. You can't tell me like, oh, well, we want to be safe, so that's why we're charging you $15. Screw you. Like, no, if you want to be safe, you're going to give me a free locker. Like this, it's, and then there's this whole like, oh, you can't take your phone on the ride. You got to put it in a locker. So not all of our rides have the little locker next to the station. So you got to leave it in a locker. Oh, and by the way, we're going to put your Fast Pass on your phone. And then we want you to play this other augmented reality game on your phone while you're waiting in line that you're not allowed to have your phone in the line. Like, what do they want to do? Do they want us to have our phones or not? Me? I don't want to have my phone. I do not want to have my phone, period. And, from a safety standpoint, that's the way you should be. But they're like, no. We want to harvest your data. We want to sell your stuff and make even more money off of you. So we want you to have your phone. But, oh, yeah, we have kind of this conflict of interest where, like, we can't let you have it on the ride. but we're going to have like this gray area. You can't do that. You can't just they don't know what they want, and like all those little things are the biggest. Like you fix those, and I think things become a lot better. Get rid of unlimited fast lane.
That part I definitely forgive me. That part I definitely do. I'm not a proponent for fast lane anywhere personally. I know why it exists. It makes money, and it also gives people peace of mind as far as like getting rides quicker. I just like a fair balance.
Well, that's why I like regular fast lane that's not unlimited.
And the fact is that roller coasters were primarily designed not to have fast lane. So it wasn't designed to like slow the line down. And so I don't like the fact that the people that are in a regular line, because they didn't push out 3 times the park visit money to like lower their wait time, now gets their time extended late. I hate the whole like notion of fast lane. Like I can't stand it, right? Yeah. But I was like a hypocrite. Candace warned me, but I was like, but I knew ahead of time, and I didn't want to get it. But like I'm at a bachelor party for the coach idiots, and so like they had already agreed that we're all getting fast lane, and so this is me disgruntled the night before, like $146 because for me in my mind, I'm not cheap by any means at all. Like I said, and I'm very thankful for the job that I have that pays me a great living on top of money. So I'm very fortunate. But it's just like I still see value, right? So like for me, I look at 143 and I'm like, that was my season pass plus my drink plan for the whole year. You know, like that's the way my mind works, right? Yeah. I'm looking at like, why is it going to cost me my season pass and a drink plan for a 10-hour park visit? You know, like extra, just so I can get the opportunity to do more.
The design
and I don't
is,
like that, right?
Hey,
so
look, we're giving you this cheap pass. We're going to give you this cheap pass, but you know, for you to really do something with it, you're going to have to get this fast lane too every time you.
Well, I don't like that. Yeah, I personally don't like that at all. So like,
but that's part of the nickel and diming that I'm talking about.
That's not a Cedar Fair problem. That's every park.
It is.
Like basically like pretty much like every park. So I don't like that. But see. I planned ahead of time there, right? So, like, I knew I was going to Canada's Wonderland, and I knew that 10 of their 18 coasters doesn't even have, like, you have the fast lane, but 10 of them aren't even included on there. So I knew, okay, I'm going to have to go ride the trash first because I'll be able to get quicker access to all the B&Ms, Alpen Fury, you know, the Bat, like their top like 6 or 7, I'll be able to like just get on as much as I want within that reason, except for Alpen Fury, which is an hour and 30-minute fast lane wait. But everything else was like within like 15, 20 minutes, which is fine. You know, but I knew ahead of time, okay, when the rope drops, while the whole everybody's running over to Alpen Fury and everybody's running over to Leviathan and running over to get on Behemoth, I'm over here at at Wild Beast riding the Clone and Grizzly at rope drop because I don't want to have to wait. I don't want to have to wait in this line later for an hour and a half. So I got to go ride the Aero Looper. I'm gonna have to go ride the. That's planning ahead of time, as opposed to like me just walk up in here like I don't need a fast lane. Let me go get Leviathan first. By the time you get off Leviathan, everything else in the park is an hour and a half. Doesn't really matter. So then you got to make a decision, kind of like what Ryan did here. He's like, I got one day at Cedar Point. I'm just going to prioritize what's open and what I want to ride because like that way, like that's the priority today. And the understanding is, and for me, I have an acceptance of that. Like I knew before I walked into Canada's Wonderland, I got 2 days here. I'm probably not getting all the credits, and I'm probably not getting all the flat rides.
But you have to consider,
and I know that, ahead of time. I was like, and I already know that.
The general public doesn't, though. I think that's the thing that I'm trying to like. You and I know that now, and and that's kind of what I said at the beginning. All of this is like you and we've been on everything, and like it's not like we can go there and not be as rushed because But I think like the general public, I don't think Cedar Point comes across as that. Like Cedar Point is still kind of marketed as just a regional park like the rest of all the Six Flags and Cedar Fair properties. And that's where I think that they kind of lost what they wanted to be because their marketing just doesn't jive with that.
Yeah,
you know,
and the
and
numbers say differently, right? Because as long as they keep bringing in almost 4 million every year, tells me the general public is just fine with the park.
That's what I'm saying, though. I don't think that's going to stay. I don't think that's going to be sustained.
And it's been sustained for the last 2 decades.
But
like I
said, 5 years ago, you went to Cedar Point and all the ride-ups were happy. They were moving trains. They were having a good time. And I don't feel that anymore. And I know I'm not alone in that because I see that a lot. I see a lot of people saying that.
You got your anger directed at the wrong park. So like for me, because I'm saying like if I'm a, because like I think the GP and these are all in the same, right? If I'm a person who's like has great adventure is like my go-to park. I've seen them take things out every year, like multiple things out over the last like 4 or 5 years. You didn't give me a warning about this ride. You didn't do you cut this thing out here. It's the 50th anniversary. You cut this season, and now you just keep taking more things out, and you're not really putting anything. You're not communicating me with the new rides coming in. There's one coming, but you're not telling me what it is, and then you're telling me it's going to be okay, but I don't know that, and because of that, they're being impacted, right? Like their attendance is dropping. The GP aren't happy. The experience at the park's not good. You know, like they're losing all their stuff and ride. There's nothing there. They already had just basically like 8 or 9. Like the whole park is pretty much all clones except for like 3 roller coasters. And so now, like that's the park where I'm like, man, like I don't know, like if this is a park and like I'm in this area, like I'm probably just pissed off because like I just every time I go here, something else is gone.
Oh yeah, it's
and
bad.
The one thing about Cedar Point is like even though they might have frustrated people with the locker policy on Top Thrill, or they ran it for a week and then it didn't open for a year. But but they recognize that, right? So this is why they get things like Siren's Curse, which shouldn't even be at the park. But they understand it's like because we're Cedar Point and because we have an expectation and because we're this temperamental ride here that we're Frankensteining here with Zamperla that we hope goes well, which is a good ride experience, by the way. Doing here, but like we're gonna bring in Siren's Curse anyway because we had an opportunity and we want to keep our customer base happy because we know we're the thrill.
Well,
we're the roller coaster capital of the world. It's their slogan when you ride there.
I'm gonna be going to Cedar Point here in the near future. I'm not gonna say the date because I don't want Tony to know because he'll shut everything down.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man. Siren's Curse is awesome. I'll say that. Even though it wasn't built for the park, it's an awesome ride. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, they stole a good one.
I will say this: all the new coach that open up this year, and because you talk about like to get on the Six Flags Park. All the new rides that open at all the parks this year, whether it be Wrath of Rakshasa, Rapterra, Alpine Fury, or Siren's Curse. Did I miss any other major park ride in the Six Flags chain that opened up this year? All those parks excelled this year. Every single one of them. King's Dominion excelled, Great America excelled, Cedar Point excelled, and Canada got the biggest boost out of all of them because they finally got
because they got my volcano.
Well, no. Like, after riding it, I'm so after riding
it,
right.
Like, you didn't like it. I don't want to hear this.
No. I like Alpine Fury. No, I like Alpine Fury. Man. No, I like Alpine Fury. It's a fun ride. I don't think it's not my favorite ride in the park, but it's a great ride. Like it's a really fun ride. That launch is like the first half ride's great. I just don't like the repetitive going upside down. It doesn't really open up for me, but like as far as like intensity, it's a fun ride. It's a great fit for the park for like what it is. And when you get to the park, you kind of realize I never been to Kansas Wonderland before, so like when I realized that the only launch coaster they really had was Backlot Stunt Coaster in Canada, then you kind of understand like why the public loved this ride. I'm like, well, all they knew about launches was Backlot Stunt Coaster like 20 years ago, and so like this is the only like launch coaster. Like this is it. Like they're like, oh, well, this is what a launch coaster can do. It's like, a multi-launch coaster. So now they're happy. So it actually works out. Whereas King's Dominion needed something that's GP friendly that wasn't too intense because Alpine Fury is super intense. But like they needed something that wasn't intense, super re-rideable. You can get in, get out, and just kind of go through. That's exactly what they got. And it's reliable. Like it's high uptime. High ridership, but I don't
know if it's that high uptime.
The uptime?
Man, every time I've been there, it's gone down on me.
Yeah, the uptime is like 88% is like the second best in the park behind Dominator.
Is it really?
It's doing
like, I swear,
well.
like it's just me. It's like they're in cahoots with the deer. It's like get Bob.
Yeah,
I'm not kidding you. Every time I've been there, it went down on me. I mean, I got to ride it, but it was just constantly going down.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Volcano's best season was like 681,000 riders. This is already past that. So it's kind of already
Volcano
exceeded.
is such low capacity.
I'm just letting you know.
No,
That's what I mean. Like as far as the ridership, as far as like what the park needed, it needed a ride that was going to be high uptime, re-rideable, super easy to
I'm not
maintain.
shitting on Rapterra. It's a good ride. It really is.
I think it's a good ride.
My issue with it, my only real issue with it was it was supposed to be more, and like there was supposed to be more theming in it, and they cut it, and like that may not take away from the ride as it is, but like it concerns me with like the future. Like, is this the Six Flags that we have now, where like, oh yeah, all that Jungle X stuff that was really good, like we're not really going to invest in all that theming stuff.
Disagree, because Pantherian section looks awesome.
Had it opened.
Yeah, when you walk into that plaza, like that Pantherian plaza is awesome.
Okay.
The way they rethemed it and reworked it in there, yeah, it looks really good in there. It's just really good. Like I said, I've always told you, like Kings Dominion is kind of like the test park in the Legacy Seated Fair Point. They always test things there first to see how it goes, and then they kind of spread it out the other Seated Fair parks. Like it got the first Winterfest, and then it went well. Let's go branch it out. It got the first like themed area.
Oh, that's that went well. Thing I can go in on.
Let's go to Air.
What am I doing for New Year's Eve? I don't know. Thanks for that, Six Flags. It's all your fault. Every year they had it. That's what I did.
Yeah.
Every year I was there for New Year's Eve. Like no.
Yeah, that New Year's thing's kind of tough. I'm still holding out hope for that. We'll see because the park is open in like through November to December. So we'll see.
Are?
Yeah, they've added extended hours for Kings of Man. Yeah, it's open all the way to like December now. So we'll see.
So let's cancel Winterfest, and then they don't know what they're doing, do they?
They do. It's a profitable park. Like they budgeted Winterfest out and like, you know what? Like we are doing extremely well. Let's keep the park open.
But that's the thing. Like I don't think that. I think they killed. I've been saying for a while. I think they killed Winterfest prematurely, and I kind of called that they were going to, because they kept playing around with that game of like, oh yeah, it's a little too cold. We're going to close.
Yeah, I have a feeling that it's going to come back like next year with no problem. I think it's in this. I think for this year the budgeted for it, because Raptor's $30 million roller coaster. Then they added on the whole 50th anniversary celebration. They had to do some kind of cut, and Winterfest just happened to be the one thing they had to cut. But I think
when you kill consistency, though. Like that's the thing is like you're gonna like when you're restarting now. It's like you had that like everybody. This is our tradition. We're going to New Year's Eve. Like we're going to Winterfest and this is our tradition for Thanksgiving. We're going to go to Winterfest. Well, now that's not there. So now those traditions are broken. They're gonna people find new things, and now you bring it back next year. That's a good idea, but you're starting from scratch because now
not sure because now you can because Winterfest wasn't never open in Jungle Expedition, so now you can open it next year, expanding Winterfest and do another.
But what I'm saying is like people in their traditions, like if somebody they like okay, well we can't go to King's Dominion this year. Let's find something else. Well, they might just stick to whatever they're doing. You know what I mean?
That's
like
true.
so. Like you're gonna have to recapture those traditions again, and I think that's been a problem with Cedar Fair for a while. Is they never understood that consistency of being available, and that's why I haven't gone to Winterfest in a couple years because I live further away, and there's so many times that like the park they just randomly decide to close, and I'm like I'm not gonna drive 2.5 hours only to get there and find out that an hour before I got there they decided to close the park. Which was a really like a legitimate, real possibility for me because they closed so much. So I think they always miss that of like okay, you might have a slow day, but if you close that park, then you're signaling to people you can't really rely on us being open. And, I think that's been a problem. And now they're expanding that into summer days where it's like, I mean, it's the weather. Show me the weather.
Yep.
I don't know if you heard that show, Mike, but
too much weather.
I definitely heard that show, and we disagree on that too. But like that'll be a rant for another day.
You did mention one thing that is another story that I wanted to touch on, and this is another thing I said is it's like, okay, like all these cheap passes, but you don't know what's going to leave. You don't know what's going to be there next year, and it started. Granted, this isn't a big deal, but I think this is going to be the first of many. Six Flags Over Texas, the Conquistador had been closed because of the construction, and now, after the season pass sales are over, of course, they said, oh, yeah, by the way, we're not going to reopen it. It's done. We decided it's done. Which I guarantee you they knew before the season pass sales that it was going to be done, but nope, don't run the risk. We don't want anything to, we don't want to upset anybody. Granted, it's a small ride. It's not that big of a deal, but this is what they've been doing, and it's just so you can't do this to your guests. You can't just like wait for everybody to buy a season pass and then all of a sudden just start go, oh yeah, by the way, we're getting rid of this, we're getting rid of this, we're getting rid of this. I mean, Kane Nicole was obviously the biggest thing, the biggest FU to their guests.
That's bad. That park. I have nothing. I have no backing for that park like whatsoever for like everything that's going on there.
No.
This particular one.
I mean, flash vertical velocity is awesome. I love that. That super boomerang. I cannot believe how good that thing was. Like,
it's good. It's
insane.
Fun ride.
It's insanely good.
Yeah. No. Take that and like turn and like Simon's Curses like that on steroids.
Oh yeah. So, like, that's part of the reason why I'm so excited for it. Yeah.
It's like So that's what I'm talking about. Like while you're like over Texas, right? Like they lose this Conquistador or whatever, but they're getting a brand new Giga Coaster, and they're getting a record breaking 300-foot thing that's going to be right at the front of the park.
That's not my argument.
And that's your sell coming in next year.
That's a fair trade. That's absolutely a fair trade. What I'm saying is,
if I'm not mistaken, I think this is over Texas's. I think I researched this correctly. It's their first ground up like new build. Custom new build since 1980.
Good Lord!
Really? Everything else has been clones.
Everything else is
jeez.
Everything else is either like a clone ride or like a clone ride or a remodel, which is with New Texas Shine. But I think it's their first custom like coaster built specifically for that park. It's just like 1980, which is crazy. Like to think about that.
That is insane.
Being like the first Six Flags park.
I do want to make sure, though. I do want to clarify. Like, I'm not saying that this is a horrible thing that they're getting rid of a pirate ship to get. That's not my point. My point is this shady. Like, let's wait till everybody buys their pass to start telling people the negatives. That's not fair. You shouldn't do it that way. And I know it's upsetting a lot of people. I don't think a lot of people are going to be upset about this. But
no. When they see that shiny 300-foot thing in the front of the park, they're going to be like, "Who cares about the pirate ship?"
But again, I think this is the first one. I think we're going to start. We're going to start hearing from other parks of like what's not going to open next year.
I mean, Katie did the same thing too, right? Like they took out Berserker, and they kind of up here, and then people. You know what happened?
We were there. We took our ride.
The last ride, and you know what happened? People, and they took out Anaconda too. You know what happened? Nobody cared. All the other thing. Oh man, look at that beautiful shiny little launch wing coaster that's in General Black's Expedition right there. The record breaker over there. That's awesome.
I cared a little bit about it.
And they look at the river and like, oh, there used to be that little aero coaster that I hated with the head banging. Oh, they got rid of it. They got rid of it finally. That's what they were saying.
I do remember. I was with you. Like we were there, and we're like, Berserker. Like we better ride it. We just better ride it. And what was it? Like a week later, they're like, it's gone.
It's gone. Yeah. Was it you that didn't want to get on it, and then I had to like force you to get on it?
No. I love that ride. I love you. Okay. You don't have to force me to get on that ride.
Okay. It was somebody like you need to ride it. Like, I don't want to go. Like, it's the last time I'm going to be able to ride
There was
it.
somebody with us. There was somebody with our little group. I can't remember who it was.
I can't think of what they want to get on. Like, you need to get on, and they wrote it. They're like, okay, I got it. I'm like, well, it's going to be gone, so it's cool. Like,
Right,
be thankful you wrote it.
And we were just speculating, and sure enough, it was like a week later. It was like, yeah, it's gone.
Yeah,
man,
it's gone.
All
and
right.
so, that little spot next to Pantherian is going to be a great spot for a tilt coaster to go in the water. Oh, that's going to be perfect for a snake theme. That's going to work out very well when that gets there.
Boy, you're optimistic.
No, the snake temples are still there, and as you know, when it comes to like Cedar Fair, even though you're not there, you want Cedar Fair. When they don't take everything away from the area, that means they're going to reuse it. When you ride Pantherian, everything on when you come to the brake run, everything on the Anaconda outside of the lake area where the station, I got stuff here, hasn't been plowed over. You can still see all the footers in the area. They have not cleaned their area out. When they don't clear the area out, that means they're going to reuse the area. When they clear the area out, they don't use the area. Like what's the ride there that everybody keeps getting mad about at Kings Island when they took out Vortex. What did they do to that plot of land? It looks gorgeous over there. They're never going to put anything there.
Still pissed about Vortex. That was one of the best aero loopers. That was.
But when you don't mess with the land, you saw Volcano. When you don't mess with the land area, when you don't like make it all pretty and nice and all like that, that means you're going to reuse the territory.
Well, dude,
so like they haven't. Done
when they close Volcano, they're like, "Hurry up! Like we don't want anybody to think about this. Let's get rid of it." Like they were just like it was like deleting a Roller Coaster Tycoon. It was like click gone. It just disappeared. It just vanished.
That's why that area. That's why that area where Sun and Beast is, which they haven't touched over there. They kind of cleared out. They haven't really like messed around with it. They still got the remains of the station over there. Like that area is like they're going to reuse that area at some point in the future.
It's just been a haunt though. Like I don't know.
But the vortex plot of land. Nope. On people, stop asking for it, man. It's been 6 years.
I remember that argument back when, I was one of the few people that was like, don't get rid of this ride. Do not get rid of Vortex. And everybody's like, well, no, they got to get rid of it because they'll build something new. I'm like, they're not going to use that. They will. They actually, weren't you even one of the people? Maybe not. You're the one that always is like, every time Cedar Fair gets rid of something, then they replace it. And
if they want, like what they're going to do. Like they have a map and a blueprint. If they don't change the land, that means they're not going to. That means if they change the land, make it like that area where Berserker is, that's like grassy area. Yeah. Oh, nothing's going there. Right, nothing's going there. So we already know nothing's going there. But like where Anaconda is, because I looked at it like, oh, they haven't even done anything with the area over here. I was like, oh, they're going to reuse that area. We'll see. Like they're going to reuse the area. Like
they might. It's just how long will it be though.
And the Snake Temple is still up in everywhere. Like, oh, that's a great location for a tilt coaster to go into the water because they can't build a dive coaster because Busch Gardens has one, but because they can build a tilt coaster to kind of do something that Busch Gardens can't do, but has the same kind of gimmick but in a better way. Oh yeah. What was that again? What was that number again, Bob? 87% upkeep time on that Vekoma? Like, oh yeah.
Listen, I'm not going to be upset if a Vekoma shows up there. Like, I'm not. I'm just skeptical on like them spending the money for it. We'll see.
Time will tell.
Yeah, I think so. This is what, like I said, we agree on that part as far as like them like scrapping down and cutting down. They're going to start chopping down parks for sure. In my opinion, they're going to get down to like 12 to like 15.
But see, like
and I think one of the major ones is going to get chopped off like Great Adventure. I'm sorry, people, if you're a Great Adventure person, I don't think your park's going to make it through the cut.
I've been suspicious myself.
I don't think your park will make it. I think the main 6 parks in the Cedar Fair Legacy parks are all going to go through the 2 Kings parks, the Canada's Wonderland, Carowinds, Canada, and Cedar Point, and then I don't know if any other ones will go, but definitely over Georgia Fiesta, over Texas. The fact that
when they merged,
Great America,
Great Adventure got rid of all of their most of their positions, and like Dorney's people just kind of like are filling the gap at Great Adventure. And that's
I'm not sure Dorney's going to make it either.
Well, here's the thing. I think it's one of those two. One of those two is going to go, and I don't know which one. I think they're going to get rid of one. They're going to keep the other.
I think Great Adventure's Ghost. That's just my opinion because there's just too much work to put into that park to get it to like what it needs to be. They have cut so much out of that park.
They also like destroyed their locals. Like they're just like I think locals are really upset about everything.
Yeah, it's
like
that's a sinking ship right there.
I think
so
that's
like I said, I can't even
situation.
I can't defend them, man. Like I can't even defend that part because of what they're doing in the situation they're going through. Like
what was it?
That's
7 rides in 1 year? 7 rides was it?
No, they took 9 rides. 9 rides in 1 year.
Ah, that's a good idea. That won't upset anybody. Like remember Kennywood 4 rides? Like that was like the end of the world when Kennywood got rid of 4 rides. Great Adventure's like no, we got you. Hold my beer.
The thing about Great Adventure is that there's the theoretical spinner launch ride. I don't know what it is, but going in there. But I mean, just looking at that, it's like that did not need 9 rides removed.
Well,
for it at all. So it's like
sad thing is,
and I agree because from the money point of view, animals take up 3 times park budget. It's horrible. So the only way that park is going to be saved, in my opinion, the only way the park is going to get saved is if they somehow sell off the animal part and get rid of it. And if they can separate the 2 out, then the park itself, the rides part, has a chance. But I am, and along the same lines, I've got a very, very low outlook for that park. I don't.
I really am torn between Dorney and Great Adventure. I really think it's going to come down to one of those 2. They're going to keep one and get rid of the other. And I could go both ways because I think there's arguments on each side. The more I think about it, though, like I think Great Adventure. Like I think Dorney might be saved because of how bad Great Adventure is right now. Maybe they will get rid of them both, but I think
they're both ghosts. But I do agree with you. If I think one of them would make it through the cut, it would probably be Dorney. But I just don't know because I'm just looking at like I said, you can just you guys know this. You know which parks they care about the most. It's like you can just see, when you walk in there, you can just see it, right? Like you can say. Okay, when you walk into King's On, you're like, oh yeah, like this park's fine. Like you walk into Katy, you're like, oh yeah, like they keep this park's fine. Carowinds, Knott's. If Knott's wasn't in California, I'm not sure it would have made it. But like because it's every day, like it's open every single day, like it does what it does. Canada's Wonderland is like its own thing. If Canada's Wonderland had land to develop its property, they would probably shift its focus to that park because it just does so many people, and it's the only show in Canada.
Well, you know what, though? We're never going to. This show is going to go on forever. The thing with Canada, Cedar Fair has always treated Canada's Wonderland differently, and like I don't know why that is. It always seemed like It always seemed like in the U.S. they really were doing like the nickel and dime stuff, and Canada's Wonderland, it didn't seem like they were doing that quite as much. And like the fact that even like Yukon Striker, like they put in that loose article system, like you'd never see that in a U.S. Cedar Fair park. They would never do that. But I think that's an example of one of those things. Like, okay, hey, look, we're not going to charge you money to put your stuff in a locker. We're going to innovate and make a way to like make the experience better without having to pay something. Like that's not Cedar Fair in the States. They haven't been that way for a very long time. So like Canada's Wonderland has always, I mean, I haven't been there for, it's probably close to 2 decades now.
Okay. So
wow.
So you haven't been to Canada's Wonderland. All right.
Yeah.
Just like, God.
It was Paramount. It was Paramount when I was there. So yeah.
Yeah.
But the park was so beautiful.
They got the B&M Hybrid, the B&M Hybrid, the Giga, the dive coaster, and the Premier multi-launch. That's a different park.
Yeah. I know it is, but it always was like such a beautiful park. There was like
the entrance is awesome. That entrance is great. That's probably my favorite entrance. Like that entrance is awesome. I like
It's
when you
very
walk
nice.
in there. But then, no, that is a gorgeous entrance when you walk in there. It is nice. It is absolutely nice.
So tiny little Six Flags thing left. Worlds of Fun was evacuated from the first night of Halloween Haunt for unsubstantiated gunshots. This is happening way too much.
Well, they couldn't. I mean, everything was basically like they couldn't determine if there was any sort of gunshot. So it was just no one could really tell. So they did the right thing and they evacuated the park as a precaution because they didn't know what was going on. So they got everyone out of there and cleared the scene. That way they could figure it out, which is that's good. That's what you want. You don't want people around. You don't want crowds around in that environment. So
I've always wondered, though, in that situation, though, is evacuating the park the best course of action?
you have to assume yes. I mean, there's always an end game that somebody could be doing where they want the park evacuated, but that's like some movie stuff that you typically don't have. I mean, when you look at the history of all sorts of bad events that happen, it's typically localized in one spot. I mean, you know, we go through all sorts of training and stuff at my current work and my previous work, which is basically, hey, if something bad ever happens, run. Get out of the area.
It's training.
That's what it is. That's basically it is. There's videos on it. It's run. The three main topics is run, hide, fight. That's the thing. Run, hide, fight. First of all, get away from it. Run away. If you can't run, hide. Hide. Don't let anybody know you're there. And if you absolutely have to and there's nothing left whatsoever, fight like your life depends on it, because it does.
Yeah.
Run, fight, hide.
The thing is, like, I think the thing that really, there was I think it was at Knott's, I don't know, a few years ago. I don't know how many exactly, but there was a shooting outside of the park.
Mm-hmm.
And they immediately evacuated the park. And I was like, that was like one of the scenarios where I'm like, why would you do that? You know, if it's outside of the park.
So when we practice evacuation drills inside for the amusement park, the park has like 12 different exits. Because people don't think about it, but, you know, every service area becomes an exit. So the thing is, if you have a situation going on at the front, the main plaza area, you don't let people out that way. You take them to other parts and get them out. But that's the thing is, like, I saw a video. There was video of like everybody coming out of the main entrance, and I was like, that's just kind of like that. That was just. I mean, it wasn't. I don't know. Like, I'm not even saying they did the wrong thing. It was just like one of those things that kind of like that's what like kind of piqued my interest of like it. What do you do? You know, like if you don't know where the gunshot is and you evacuate, like I don't know. It's a tough game, and that's why these guys go to. They go through that training. But yeah, I don't know. It's just far too much of this. Hopefully this really
it's getting out of hand.
Like.
I mean, it really is. I mean, like it's, you know, we spoke already about how like rider safety as well too, but like, you know, people go to parks to have fun. But if you're someone who's out there like who has a thought process of bringing a weapon to an amusement park, then your whole priorities of going to a park are just absent-minded. Yeah. Because you shouldn't even like have that kind of mindset in order to even just if you're going to an amusement park. Like this is a place to have fun. You know, like this is, you know, it's not a let's go out here and just. I mean, we had a thing. Remember a few years ago with Kennywood, the guy was throwing a gun over the gate, man, like trying to get through. I'm like, this is just.
Dude, RC was there. You know, RC and West were there. Like I think RC was only like 20 feet from the gun. He actually heard the gunshot. Like, yeah, I remember that. And Greg and Pam were there, and like I remember, like we were all texting, like, "Where are they? Are they okay?" Like even the 21 and over night, the fight breaking out and stuff. Like, yeah, it's too common. You know what's ironic though? Six Flags America has this reputation of being like this really rough park and, you know, dangerous to go to, and yet nothing's happened there. I mean,
I don't think they've even had a gunshot there, or even gun come up with. No. It's actually a relatively fun park. I've never had it. I just visited there recently, but gonna miss that place. I'll be there on the last day, November 2nd.
I'm thinking of going too.
And so, there's just, I'm talking like, I think like 80% of the community is going to be there like on the 2nd to kind of say goodbye. But I don't think it's going to hit the community, at least us, until like that day.
Yeah.
That a park is leaving. like that.
It makes me so mad. There's
doesn't
so many
happen.
people like, it's about time they close that park.
Happen.
Like, screw you, shut up. Like, you don't. It makes me
amusement
so
park
mad.
is closing. That is not a good thing,
right? Exactly.
It's never a good thing.
It's not. It's never.
Like I feel so bad for that whole like area because you're losing Six Flags America, and if you guys don't know you know the area, Bob, but Northwest Stadium where the Commanders play football is 2 miles from that park.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can see Superman from the stands. So, and like the DC just greenlit their almost $4 billion new stadium back in DC. So they're going to lose their amusement park and they're going to lose the football team from that area in the next 4 years.
See, that's the other thing too.
4 to 5 years.
I'm actually curious what your opinion is on this, Mike. My opinion is like that land, there's value in it. I'm not going to say there's not any value in it, but I don't think it's the value people think it is. I really don't think it's this, like, I really think that this is kind of an Astroland situation where they're like, oh, we can unload this for a lot of money and it's going to sit empty or not sell for as much. It probably will sell, but not for what they are expecting to get out of it.
No, it'll probably sell for more than what they're going to expect for it, but I do agree that it's not going to pretty much do anything. But the fact that they're losing the entertainment in Bowie, Maryland, like you losing your park and like 8 weekends, 8 Sundays a year, and saying is 70,000 people coming to your area, and there's vendors and all the restaurants and the surrounding hotels and like all that is just like impacted. Mm-hmm. Like when the Commanders leave and this amusement park leaves, and it's like there's nothing there anymore. And so they just gutted the whole whatever that zip code is, it just gets gutted. And now who knows what'll happen in the future? I'm hopeful that once Six Flags does their thing as far as to relocate certain rides, because they can't relocate all their rides. Like I'm pretty sure the Kitty Credit and maybe the Wild Mouse Spinner will probably get relocated and probably lose the Hardy Coin, which is their Zamperla Giga Discovery. Other than that, I mean, you can't take any other coach out of that park. But I'm hopeful that it'll be like
they're just not going to.
Not going to, yeah. I'm hopeful it'll be like a Kentucky Kingdom situation, where it'll be just they'll get the Six Flags property out of there, and then it'll just operate independently as something else, rename all the rides, and then eventually it'll get the care it needs if the city, whatever, votes on keeping that area territory only for amusement purposes only, which I think
the county has already said they want it to remain.
Has already said they keep it that way, which I think is going to get passed. So like that means you can't develop it into like houses or something like that. So like it'll still be prime real estate. It'll be a diamond in the rough for whoever buys that 500 acres of land.
The opportunity they missed. They canceled Fright Fest, but instead they should have given tours of that haunted house that's in the woods. You know which one I'm talking about?
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I've never seen it, and I want to. And it's like, can we have an Ace event? Can we have an Ace event and go like?
An Ace event? What a Bluesiest event there? Like come see the haunted house.
Yeah, there you set that up. Set that up, Mike. Come on.
You want me to set that up? Let me talk to the guys, man. See what we can do.
What is that? I forget what that is. It's I know it's like a National Historic Landmark, I believe. But what was it? It was like somebody's like, I can't remember. Crap, I really can't remember. But I know it's on Six Flags property, like back in the woods.
But that park is a missed opportunity for having, I think only 120 acres got developed, something like that, of a 500 acre park in a demographic that has 14.8 million people in a 40-mile radius in all directions. That's nuts to not be able to like build a new coach there in 23 years. So I just think that's a major part. But yeah, November 2nd will be a day because everybody being there, you're going to realize like this is it. like this is it. And like you may not ever like this park has been here for this territory has been here like 50 years. So like this is gone. Like that's it.
Yeah, I know.
Go ask those Geauga Lake people, man, how they feel. You know what I'm saying? About go ask them how they feel.
Dude, this is a repeat for me. It really is, because Geauga Lake was like my childhood. I mean, yes, I was closer to Kennywood, but like we went to Geauga Lake, and we went there a lot. Like that was my childhood park, and yeah,
and this is why I agree with Ryan, because like, he was talking about like Great Adventure, like, you mentioned like Geauga Lake had the same kind of like setup, right? They had the animals and they had the park, and it's like you couldn't really separate one without the other, even though they kind of tried, right. Like in a way, and it failed. And it's just like it's this massive park, and they're just like, you know what? Don't even worry about it. This is what is happening. I want to be wrong. I just feel like that's the future of Great Adventure. That's like kind of coming out of the pipeline. I'll be convinced. Otherwise, I'm paying attention to the new coaster for a few reasons. Right, they're putting the footers down. I want to see if they actually put any steel up on that ride next year.
In 25 or 26.
26. Like I want to see. I just want to see if it's just going to stay footers the entire year.
I was thinking about this just the other day. My new coaster shift is currently running at 0.8, 1.8. So it's for nobody that knows what I'm talking about, because I just invented this a day or two ago. That's basically it right now. You take the coaster's opening date and you multiply it by 1.8. So it's basically just tag on another year to it. It's our 2026 coaster. You mean 27? It's like it should be open in 27. It's like, you mean 28? It's like just multiply it by like 1.8 and just give it that. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's your actual opening time.
Yeah,
like,
because
we're gonna do all this stuff. It's like, have you broken ground for it? Well, not yet. It's like, okay.
When you don't make an announcement, so like this is September time. This is when all the announcements come out. So like Texas steel's on site. It's already painted. It's ready to go. Like it's this time last year, Rapterra was already done. So like done. It was like steel, like track wise it was already put together. And so when you look at this project out there, you're like, I'm looking at this thing and I'm just like, we haven't heard any names. We haven't had any leaked. When we have a guesstimation on what it is based on like footer like setup, pine plane, what could be. All we have is footers, and in every other park in this chain, when it builds footers, track shows up on site before the footers are done. It's like if you guys notice that anytime they build a new coaster in this chain, the track shows up as soon as the footers like start to get poured. This footers are all poured.
This chain anymore.
And I'm telling you right now, like, I don't know if they're going because it would be very easy to just fix the footers and just kind of just it over. But I don't see anything on site that suggests to me that there's going to be something there. If there's nothing steel shows up on that site next year, I got a bad feeling about that park.
I would.
Maybe what we should be looking for is that exact same footer set up at a different park.
That's actually a good point. So Cedar,
right?
Cedar
Which parking lot
Point's like licking their chops. We can steal another one,
right? We can put it in this parking lot over here.
I just don't know. Like I said, I just don't know. Flash Vertical Velocity, when they were pouring the footers, the track was on site. They were still pouring footers for Rapterra when it was going up. Like they would pour like 6 or 7, install a track. Pour like some more, then install a track. And it's just like, oh, okay, like it's okay. It's like they're really like going up in unison. That thing's been done, poured for like a month. There's nothing on that site. There's not even an area like blocked off to like store track. Like I'm just telling you right now. I don't know. Let's see what happens next year. I don't think anything's going to show up this year. So, and if nothing shows up this year, we'll see what happens. We'll just see what happens next year.
I'm going to go off on another rant. You remember when, like, you could actually search for things on the internet and you found them? Instead of, like, the search engines going, oh, you must mean this. Like, no, you idiot. That's not what I mean. Like, try searching for, like, the historic landmark on Six Flags America's property, or the haunted house, or the, you know, whatever. It's always like, oh, yeah, you mean Six Flags Great America. No, you idiot. That's not what I said. Oh, you mean Fright Fest. It's canceled. No, you idiot. That's not what I mean.
I like this. This is great, Ryan. You see, like the see his frustration. You see, you thought it was you thought it was a Six Flags issue. No, it's a Google problem. It's a Bing problem.
I hate everything. I'm old. Remember, we had this discussion at the beginning. I'm old,
I'm not old,
and I'm crotchety, and I hate everything.
No, you're the get off the lawn guy. See, yes. Listen, I'm still like, you can run through the grass, man. It's okay. You know, like it's okay, man. Look, my kid, the damn neighbor's next door kid, like throws stuff over the fence all the time in the yard, man. And we got to like sit there and like, hey, your kid dropped this off here. You throw it off the deck, and like just like what? Why is this in our yard? Like this. What are you doing, man?
Why is this in our yard?
It's just in there like, what is this? Let the dog out in the backyard and run around and just like, there's toys in this backyard. And like, oh, they must have threw it off their deck. The kid must have just like hawked this thing all the way across and just threw it off the deck. I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
Oh, look, now I get to learn about what the Six Flag is. This is not what I'm talking. Like, why is it so hard to find? You know the house I'm talking about, right?
I do.
But you don't remember what it's called or anything. Like, seriously, this should not be that hard to find, but like nothing. Like, it's like, oh yeah, here's here's what Six Flags means. No, that's not what I'm searching for. Like, I'm trying quotes. No, it's always just like, oh, you must mean this.
Those listening there, once you guys figure out what this house is, because Ryan's doing a search also, because he's gonna make sure it's not his laptop, because Bob's got like 3 laptops open, so Ryan's gonna try to figure it out. If you guys have figured it out, and then then we're gonna really dive deep into what's really going on with Bob here. So maybe it's not Six Flags or Google or whatever, man. It's the guy. It's like, right. You know what? This is why I'm here. This is why me and Ryan are here, man. You got to listen to him and just support him.
We'd say, what's the problem with that ride? Sometimes it's using an acronym. It's a USER. That's the problem with the ride. It's a USER.
ID10T error.
Okay. Well, while Bob is looking up trying to find that house,
I don't think it's possible. The whole internet has forgot. Somehow.
Did you want to talk about a park that you do like that's opening up a new ride?
Sure. Would that be Dollywood? I like Dollywood. Yeah. I love me some Dollywood. That's a park that's fair. Have a good time. They care about the guests.
Expensive. You got that right. It is fairly expensive.
Sorry, I just I know we just changed the subject, but it's Hall Manor.
That's it. How'd you find it? All right, you got to tell me. What's your trick? Please scold me about the internet. I only make it work.
I just went to Google. I'm like, I just typed in, what the F is Bob on about now? And it came up with that.
Y'all see how he found it? Ryan found this thing, and Bob's been crying mercilessly for the last 20 minutes. I wish you guys could see what I see, because like at some point here, Ryan he pivots in his chair, like pulls up there, finds it, and he has this satisfied look in his face as I'm looking over the script for the show, and I'm looking down, and like Ryan's got this satisfied look in his face, like, I know something you don't know, and he's just kind of like, I just Google searched it and I found it. I mean, it's right there. Bob, you're gonna have to clear your cache, and then write it behind it. I'm not sure.
So I won't spend too much time on it. I just typed in historic house on Six Flags America property.
Oh, there it is.
Historic house. I didn't try that. I was going for like the marker and stuff. Yeah, so I do remember, like, now that I did this search, I remember, like, they actually did for their Fright Fest a couple years. They actually had a haunt that was themed to this house. I mean, I didn't experience it because, you know, I don't I don't do the whole haunt thing, but yeah, it's also called the Partnership Mansion.
That's interesting.
I've never seen that. Okay, that's cool.
The Partnership Mansion, also referred to as Pleasant Hill or Hall Manor, was a mansion located in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, and was situated about 15 miles east of Washington, D.C. Six Flags America would later be built on the grounds. The original structure was built by the Hall family in the late 1690s and early 1700s and was added onto by subsequent owners, notably the Berry family in the 1840s. So it's an old-ass house.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I will add a link to our show notes if you wish to
I like that.
read more about it.
Knowledge, man. We found some knowledge today. Eh? We found something older than the 1900s, man. We went back another century.
Yeah. See, everybody here thinking Wild One's the history we're losing. Man, we go way back to the 1700s here.
Houses, man, that are still standing. How about that?
They don't build them like they used to.
They don't. They definitely don't. Definitely don't build them like that.
No, they don't. No, they do not. Not at all.
All right, Night Flight Expedition. I'm still mesmerized by this whole thing. Like, it's got to be a mock rocking boat, right? This is what's coming to Dollywood.
It's a mock. It's actually like a mock. Couple things going on, like in one ride, one ride experience.
And that's the thing.
A whole lot of things going on. What is this thing? Like a 144,000 square foot like building that's 4 stories. It's incredible. So this is Dollywood's biggest investment in their history, $50 million. And so it's crazy. This ride still costs less than Verbolten. So like, as big as this structure,
wasn't that what Verbolten cost? $50 million?
$54 million.
Oh, 54. Okay.
And that was almost 10 years ago. That was $54 million. This is $50 million, and it's going to be a completely indoor structure with everything going on in there with 10 car, with like I said, 11 trains, 10 seating.
To be fair, though,
nice. A 5-minute ride cycle. That's nuts.
The construction of Verbolten was probably, I mean, a lot more difficult than this is going to be. Because you have to figure like the drop and then down into the river and reusing the footers and stuff, but like it's not like an easy place to get to. This is more of like
save them some money reusing footers that's already been placed there on and built in the ground for you.
No, yeah, I agree, but I'm saying like just in like regards to Night Flight, like it's all on a plot of land. Like it's not terrain.
Yeah, this is.
I mean, when you're building terrain coasters, it costs more because of getting to those places. That's all I'm saying. I can guarantee you, Dollywood's going to take better care of this than Busch Gardens took care of for Bolton.
I feel like Dollywood's taken a note from Europa Park on this one when they installed Voltron. And because my thought of Voltron was basically, they went to Max, the catalog, and Max said, we could possibly do all these things with these rides. And Europa was like, yes.
Yeah.
And they checked the box for every single thing and just put every single option in the ride. I'm like, basically, I think Dollywood did that with this.
With the rocking boat. Yeah.
Whatever this is coming in. They're basically like, yes, we want it to go in the water, and we also want it to fly, and we also want it to make bagels at the end and do all sorts of things.
The flying thing is what's got me. Like, the only thing I can figure is this is going to be like a section where like maybe the coaster parks and like there's just simulator, like flying theater type stuff there. It's a coaster. I mean, if you look at Mission Bermuda's, I consider that a coaster. There's clear coaster track on it, and that's the only other rocking boat that exists is Mission Bermuda's, which looks like a really cool ride. I don't know if you've seen it, but
Yeah, it's actually, and this is supposed to be like a longer version of it, and it's completely indoors.
Yeah.
As well, but like this, I gotta correct myself. 44,000 square foot building with 500,000 gallons of water in a Warren Rapids segment. So this will fly, plunge, climb, and drop like a roller coaster, and then navigate to a very special lake. And it takes the entire ride, along with the queue section, will all be indoors. In the Wildwood Grove section, right next to Big Bear Mountain, and it's like, and I think I think they're actually building a tunnel underneath Big Bear Mountain, so that way you can actually get to it. This is nuts. I mean, like it's this is in height requirement 39 inches. So that's what I mean, right? Like this park. So this is where you agree. This park knows exactly what it is. Like Dollywood is a family park. It is geared for families. It is targeted for families. Wildwood Grove section is absolutely incredible. And like I said, it's gonna continue to win. Well, if you guys take value in the Golden Ticket Awards, don't get me started on Phoenix #1. The one thing to get right is like it's got like the best like kids/family section of like any park, and that place is awesome at night. Also, when you include the Vacomas, or like the two Vacomas that are over there now, so it's just now they got a accommodator. They just pour for me. I think Dollywood is setting up future with this indoor attraction to like operate all year in the future. I can see that happening in the future. Like they're going to operate all year. Like it's going to be an all year round park.
I really seriously think that Herschend is kind of watching the Six Flags drama play out, and they're like, okay, here's our shot. I have that feeling. Like I think that's why they acquired all the Palace parks, which I think are just all of those parks are right up Herschend's alley.
As long as they keep them, let them be what they are.
Yes,
I'm okay with it.
I mean, I have some reservations because of like Wild Adventures and like what they did with Darien Lake and those things. So, but then I look at like Kentucky Kingdom, and now they're starting to like do things that I wouldn't have expected them to do with Kentucky Kingdom. So I think maybe they figured it out. Like, oh wait, we have to like kind of treat all of our parks well, not just Dollywood and Silver Dollar City. So I mean, we'll see. But I don't know. I just kind of feel like
I give them that. Like they're testing. I think they're testing Kentucky Kingdom to kind of see if they can revamp the demographic of the crowd that come in there. Like let's say, like can we get out like the teenage, like kind of like I'm not trying to imply like all Six Flags parks are dedicated to like teens, but like try to get out to get their clientele base in there, right? Like the grandma and the mom pops, the scooters. The long extended like staying in the park. That's why they got rid of their haunt. They got then and put in their fest. So like you can see what they're doing, and this 10 million thing is to kind of give like a nice little remodel, but it's like a surface level remodel. They didn't go in there and start messing with the kitchen, but it's just cosmetic, right?
Yeah.
Change some names, throw some paint on it, make it look nice and pretty. Let's see if it gets a response. And if it does, then we can kind of move on, and then we can like bring the hammer down with like an attraction. And it's like, boom, now I've got a number one coaster in the park that's a destination type ride when they come to our park. And so, but
I think when it comes to the Palace parks, I think they need to let Riley keep doing what he's doing, except like take his ability away of getting Titan Track. Just don't let him touch that anymore. Because Boulder Dash is a travesty.
Ryan. This is one of the arguments that me and him are 100% in agreement with. I can't stand the hybrid things. Tune in for that on the Coach Cuddy's podcast when we talk about that later on today too.
I mean, we've had it here too.
It's like ranking these. Oh, yeah. I'm so sick of it. But especially like when you have wooden coasters manufacturers that could just do great work on wooden coasters.
Across the midway from Boulder Dash, oh my God, Wildcat is like amazing. That's like Grizzly level now. It's like
He's been triggered.
Yes, and I'll stop.
He's been triggered. But like this, the Night Flight Expedition ride here, because it's going to be the only attraction like it in the United States, is going to draw heavily. And it's going to be because it's indoors, you're not going to like really get spoiled by it. So like you're going to have to like go in there and ride it to like figure out like what exactly it does. I have two problems with the ride, and it's not really it's more like nitpicks, right? I don't like the name. I think about Night Flight, and what do I think about when I hear Night Flight? I'm thinking about like Dark Night Flight. Like I think about a B&M roller coaster in Geauga Lake, right? Just like, I don't like.
There was a K in that. There was a K in that, man.
I know. I don't like the name Night Flight. I think there's something about that.
It's better than Twisted Gravity.
They could have said Twisted Gravities. Don't get me started on the Hershey Park coasters names, man. These ride names they're just utterly ridiculous. I think Night Expedition or Flight Expedition would have been fine. But maybe they wanted to like rhyme it or something. But the Night Flight thing, I
kind of like
Expedition.
Night Flight.
Or what's the name? There's a story about a secret lake expedition. That would have been great because that's what their ride's themed around is this secret lake. So like now you like when the kids go home, it's like, Mom, I want to go do Secret Lake. Let's go find the Secret Lake. But like the Night Flight thing just throws me off. But I think they missed an opportunity to like do Secret Lake Expedition. I think that would have been great because like that it still would have added to the mystery, and then you wouldn't have like, okay, Now you know what you're going to do on the ride, but like find the lake, and then you have all these things going through it because it's a secret, right? Because now you have 4 different things going on the ride. It's like, oh, the secret is like you're doing these different things. Anyway, that's me just thinking like a rational person. My other issue is like how is this ride going to perform during the fall and winter season if it's a water ride that's indoors? Like how wet are you gonna get in this ride? Because
I wonder if it's controllable. Like the air log flumes were always controllable. There was adjustments to make it so you didn't get wet or you got soaked. I wonder if they like that. If there's something similar in the rocking boat.
I'm curious.
I would think the water is a gimmick. It's not the draw. So a water ride, the water is the draw. But in this case, the ride going into the water is the gimmick. So I don't think you're going to get a Pirates of the Caribbean level of wet, meaning an occasional, just a little splash, maybe at the most. My thought.
Because I'm like Kenya, because they do a great, because Dollywood they do a great Christmas event and they do a great like fall with a pumpkin fest, and I'm like, okay, well, so like if you're wearing your coat and your hat, like can you go ride this thing? Right. Am I going to Wildwood Grove or this massive building back here looks amazing? Am I going to be able to take my nephew and nieces who are visiting for the holiday season? Are we going to be able to go ride this thing and like not come off like, okay, I can't ride this and then step outside when it's like 30?
I would imagine they've taken that into consideration and they have a plan. It's
that's it. That's my only two. Those are just like nitpicks. But like in the summertime, this is going to be a destination thing because like they don't have anything in Dollywood that's indoors outside of their Blazing Fury. But like this is like a whole thing. So like they finally got something indoors like to kind of mitigate the heat for the people to step through. So like that area is just going to be. That Wildwood Grove area, like walking up that mountain and then going up Wildwood Grove and having to go through everything and then forcing you to like get more ridership on Big Bear Mountain also because it's the same height requirement as Big Bear Mountain. I'm pretty sure that's done on purpose. So that way, like if you get off this ride, it's like you can also ride Big Bear Mountain. That's good strategy right there. That is
a true family coaster. Like stop with this 48-inch being a family coaster. That's not a family coaster. I like this 39-inch require. Like
Big Bear's an awesome roller coaster, by the way.
I want to ride that. I'm looking so forward to riding that.
That is a fun roller coaster. Like Big Bear Mountain's a fun roller coaster. We couldn't get enough of it. I mean, I couldn't. I mean, it is touchless.
I have not heard a bad thing about it.
It's touchless, Bob. It's a touchless ride. Like, you sit down, you don't have to do anything. The ride up, they pull the bar down because it's like a bar, no seatbelt. They pull the bar down and you take off, and then when you get back, it just pops automatically. So like, you don't have to do anything but sit down. It's great. And you'll love this, Bob. They have bins on the platform. It's like a perfect ride.
You know, that thing we had in the 80s everywhere that was not a problem anywhere.
Launches right out of the station, man. It's great. Launches right out of the station.
Yeah,
It's a good, man. Just
really
moves the line, man.
I'm really looking forward to riding that. I've seriously not heard a bad thing about it. I've not
onboard
heard
audio, light package on that thing, man. It's cool, man. Like, it tells a story like while you're riding. It's a fun ride.
Things
it's
that
just
matter.
It's Dollywood. It's like you ride, like you get off that ride. I'm like, that's just exact. Because
look at Fire Chaser
I was
Express.
skeptical.
Like, holy crap! Like, even Fire Chaser Express. Like, on paper, that is a boring ride. Not impressed. When you get on it, it's actually really fun.
That's good, right? Like, yeah, they don't. It's crazy. Their thrill coaches are the ones that got problems, but their family rides are fine. This is why I say, like, I always disagree with people when they try to, like, ballpark Dollywood or try to give think, oh, they're gonna get this huge big. No, that's not what this park is. Like, this is what they are, and they know what they are, and they understand that. So like they're in the mountains. They want you to bring grandma to get her scooter. Count the scooters when you go to Dollywood. You're gonna get to 100 to 200. I mean, like people just ride around, grandma and grandpa on the scooters. They got their little grandbaby with them. They're eating cinnamon bread. They're dining at all the restaurants. They're spending money. They're sitting around. They're looking at the leaves. They're looking at the craft shops. They're taking their time. You know what I'm saying? And then the kids section, which is Wildwood Grove, is so massive with the train and this, and now the new coaster Big Bear to go along with. They already had the Vekoma thrill coasters. They had a STC already over there. So it's just great planning. And now they're building another one. And everything's in that whole section is under 48. Everything in there is like 40 to 39 inches. It's like everybody can get on. Like,
it's a real
family atmosphere.
Yeah.
They know what they are. Like I said, they know what they are. So, like, no, they're not going to put in a Vekoma tilt coaster in this park. They're not getting a dive coaster. That's not what they are. So like, I hear about people like, what's our next project? Like, something like family. It'll be some kind of unique family ride is what they're going to get.
Yeah.
It wouldn't shock me if their next coaster is if they take Blazing Fury and give it the same treatment that Fire in the Hole got. Built it on the opposite side.
Yeah, I can kind of see that.
In that carnival section next to Lightning Rod. It wouldn't shock me.
I somehow missed that whole, like, that's where the Screaming Swing was, right? Like,
the barnyard. It's still the barnyard. It's in the middle. It's kind of like in the middle of the mountain.
That's somehow when we were there, we completely missed that section.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's like by the little mill house. That's right by the grist mill. You can't miss that section. That's where the bread is. but the barn swing is like hidden though. Like you have to like walk.
I mean, I got the cinnamon bread, so clearly I was there.
Go get it. Yeah,
right. Got to get the cinnamon bread.
You have to
cinnamon bread is a must.
Sniff that shit out.
You don't get cinnamon bread. You did not make a visit to Dollywood or Silver City. So I always tell people if you go to those two places and you don't get cinnamon bread, you did not visit the park.
You failed.
You did not visit the park.
I've never been to the park, but we want to go. Hopefully this next summer. But actually, the cinnamon bread is before any of the rides.
Yeah,
that is like the first thing on the list.
That's fair.
Bread.
That's fair. Mike, did you see the link that Ryan posted here of the Intamin Flume ride? Their new Elements animations posted 14 hours ago. I love this. Like, this was in response to Night Flight. Like, Intamin's like, hey guys, we can do it too.
I came across that just while I was surfing at work earlier, and then while we were talking about this, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I went back to my and I found that because I'm like, look at Intamin being well, Intamin. I mean, like, look at these guys over here. Look at this crazy stuff that they are building. Like, holy crap.
I mean, Intamin does build some crazy stuff, but I think the timing is hilarious because you know they posted this in response. Because if you look at the rendering and then you look at Mission Bermudas, like, I don't think there's any, like, that is, the renderings of Night Flight clearly are the same ride vehicle as Mission Bermudas. Like, I don't think this is anything other than a mock, in my opinion, and I think most people kind of, it just is that vehicle, and it fits. Like, it, it really does fit. But I found that funny when you posted that. I was like, wait, what?
That's funny.
Yeah, just
that's
popped
funny.
up, and I'm just like, man, look at all these things that they can do. That's interesting.
I honestly think Intamin's got to be a little bit worried about Mach and Vekoma. I think both of them have, you don't think they are? I don't know, man. I think they're gonna cut into Intamin's market.
Let me tell you why. They just
I'm not saying they're going to go out of business or anything
in the world. This is why I say, like, not at all. Like, Universal, they're building the new coaster at Universal. They are cooking right now, and they are just fine with it. Like, hey, you can have that $30 million contract. We'll take the $6 million, $100 million contract instead. That's fine. You guys can have that. We'll come in at Universal and build a new coaster at every single one of their parks, and it'll be the best one there. That is that, like, except for Epic Universe, they have the best coaster at all the Universal parks now.
I agree with that. Like, that's absolutely a true statement. But at some point, like, I don't know. Like, it's Mach and Vekoma are getting crazier and crazier. Like, it used to be that Intamin was just like, Intamin was the only people that would be like, hold my beer. And I think Mach and Vekoma are kind of getting to that point. Mach especially, like, some of the stuff I've seen from Europe, like, it's just like, whoa.
Outside of obviously like Europa Park, but like when I see them build something at one of these Disney or Universal parks, when they get like this huge budget for something, I'll be like, okay, you know what, you've kind of like they've arrived.
Vekoma already does build for Disney.
Oh no, Vekoma's fine. Like this is about Mach. Like Vekoma's been doing that for like years, but like all their new stuff is now. Vekoma is like fine. Like they're good. Intamin is thriving right now because of like what they're able to do with their technology and stuff.
Let's be clear. I'm not saying Intamin's going to go out of business. Like they're okay.
I want them to get a 3-digit contract in like a 3-digit like a $100+ million contract project. I want to see what they can do because I'd be very curious to see what they can do because I just, like Stardust Racers, for example, awesome. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like their, okay, this is what we can do with a couple like a $100 million project. This is what we can do, and it's awesome, right? And I know that's kind of like especially what happened today, but roller coaster wise, it's a great ride, like a good dueling ride. But I really want to see like Intamin's over here, like they're. Who's opening they're opening the 2 best roller coasters in 2026 in the world. So they're opening Fast and Furious over there in LA, and then they're opening the tallest, fastest, longest coaster in the world, which is like roller coaster tycoon on steroids. There's a 12,000 foot roller coaster that's got a 600-foot drop opening. I know opening in the world. That's a real thing.
To be clear, I'm not saying that Intamin's going to go out of business. I just think that Vekoma and Mach can take some of Intamin's thunder, where it used to be like Intamin was the only ones that would do like kind of out of the norm stuff. I think there are now more companies that will do that. That's all I'm saying.
I think those 3 companies have like kind of like set their standard for like what they want to do as far as being flexible and open to like everything.
Right.
The companies that are like slipping, in my opinion, are B&M and RMC.
Yeah.
And so
is B&M now washed up? Is that what we're saying?
Honestly, I'm telling you, B&M's not just. And listen,
it's tough, man.
We're gonna get into this. I know.
It's tough, man.
But I'm sorry. I love Rapterra, but there is a bounce, and it bounces the whole way.
Yeah, it bounces it in certain spots, but it's not a rattle.
It is not a rattle, and I don't. At this point in time, I don't think it takes away from the ride. But there is clearly a quality issue there.
I do want to see what's going to happen next year because we after speaking to some of the people there. So B&M came out to Kings Dominion twice now. So they came out there and they tested because Kings Dominion obviously is wondering like why is it doing that. And so like they came out there, tested the track. Apparently it's not the track. So they came out again like about a month ago and did it again. I did a retest. Track seems to be fine. So I'm gonna be curious to kind of see like what's gonna cause what's it Mayhem Mildred's Mayhem the boomerang wing coaster, like it ran like similar to like how Raptora runs, like a right rate of bounce. Took the train apart, put it back together. Merlin's Mayhem took the train apart, put it back together.
Not Merlin's Mayhem. Merlin's Mayhem's the S&S at Dutch Wonderland.
What am I talking? You know what I'm talking about, right?
I do know. I
can't think of the name. I apologize, people, but I can't think of the name right now. I should go look it up. But I'm going to try not to be like Bob and not get frustrated in my search.
What are you looking for?
It's the boomerang wing coaster. Thanks, right? But apparently, like the way when they took the train apart and put it back together,
Mayhem is what it is.
Mandrill Mayhem. It was close. Yeah. Okay, so when they took the train apart and put it back together, it runs good now. So I'm going to be curious to see in this off season when they take the trains apart and put them back together for the assembly. And apparently they're using a different company to assemble the trains when they put it back together. So like when they put Raptor back the train back together again for assembly.
Wait, hold on. So you're saying the OEM doesn't know how to put the train together, but the third party does.
I'm telling you right now, they're using a different company to actually put the train back together. So like when the train gets back together, and if it runs better, it's like as far as like being counterbalanced for that whatever the balance inches may be, and it doesn't bounce as much and it runs smoother. Then we'll know it's not their track, and it's like however they design their building or design their trains. And it might be OEM because like they're the singularly continuous company within all of them. So I don't know. We'll see. I know that for a fact. Like that's what they're going to do, and they actually had B&M come out there multiple times to test it to make sure it's going well. Because the ride is being received extremely well, but they want it to run the way it's supposed to run. So like they want to run the way it's supposed to run. Like it's a fun ride, great layout, runs good. There's bounces in front of the spot, but it's not like rattly. It's
not.
You got one of these like all wing coasters do it. This one just does it way more aggressively. In like certain spots in those positive sections. But it does one little rattle spot when you come out of the wing slide and right before you go into that inversion. Before it goes into the airtime hill, like when you come to the bottom of that, it's a slight like vibration on that you definitely feel. So outside of that, the ride's fine. But like, yeah, they're sending people to come out there. So, but yeah, I agree. Like B&M, I think they're slipping down. They're trying, obviously, with their new models, the family invert, the Penguins Trek, the Surf Coaster. Like they're trying to like get in the game. But because it's not being received as well as the other three manufacturers we just talked about and then RMC is just RMC is just RMC.
They should have been doing this long ago.
They got to expand their portfolio on what they can offer for like RMC or everything's going to start feeling similar, which it already does.
Yeah.
But so that's why I'm not really sold on World of Fun getting at RMC. I would love to be wrong about that, but like I'm just not sold on it. Plus, that ride doesn't need to be RMC.
You know what's
give it the Gravity Group.
You know what's going to happen next year. Side friction, Coaster Cuzzies. We're both going to be bitching about Titan Track.
Listen to me very carefully.
Here it comes.
I'm trying to be nice about this. I'm trying the best that I can. If they put Titan Track on this ride and Titan Track this ride, I'm mentally just trying to keep the eyes closed. So I can just keep the level of energy and just low. There won't be any wooden roller coasters at Worlds of Fun. I don't know. While I'll have three Frankenstein roller coasters that all do the same thing by the same company with three different trains.
I didn't even think of that. It would be all the same. Oh my god!
3 hybrid roller coasters with 3 different trains all at the same park. Does not make any sense to me. It would not make any sense at all. Just gravity group that thing and just let it be what it is.
I really hope it's gravity group. I
put
really
the
hope
pre-cut track on it. Do some reprofiling in certain section if you want to. That's what you do. You keep the Woody's wood on that PTC trains, but do not give this ride another. Like, you'll have 3 wooden coasters that have Titan track at some point in the ride mixed in with wood in it, and it's 3 different ride experiences with 3 different trains. I can't understand that unless you RMC it, which I don't find that would be the ride you would RMC at that park when you just gave them a new roller coaster 2 years ago. So I just.
This is where we need to say it, Mike. Thou shalt not steal.
I don't. So
Gravity Group has the perfect saying. Thou shalt not steal.
Things, man. It's great, man. Like their wooden coasters are great, but like it's just. My whole stance has always been consistent. If you're gonna put Titan track in a ride, then do the whole thing. Like do the whole thing Titan track. Don't confuse the rider. When you like go this little, then you transition back to this, and you transition to this deal, and you transition like it's just that makes it worse.
Well, I mean, don't do Titan track, but if you do the wrong thing.
Do the whole thing.
Do the whole thing.
Yeah, do the whole thing. Like make it a consistent ride experience.
Kingdom Coaster. What the hell was that whole Kingdom Coaster shit? Like, why do you put Titan track just between the station and the lift hill? Like, what the hell? Anyway.
That's just, everyone's got to start somewhere.
I don't. And then the 2.8 RMC thing in the middle also, like how what they've done to poor Shivering Timbers up there. I mean, that was
not Volcano Weekend. But it was a bad weekend for that was one of the most devastating things that I saw, was seeing that still track on Shivering Timbers.
But do you understand what I say now about like how I know which parks get cared about? What did Canada's Wonderland just do to Canadian Mind Buster? They gave it the pre-cut gravity group track. The Beast, Kings Island, pre-cut gravity group track. Racer at Kings Dominion and Racer at Kings Island, pre-cut. Grizzly, we already know how amazing it is. Those 3 parks got the special treatment wooden coasters. Do you think there's ever a situation because Prowler is only a 2000 I do the math right. So Prowler, right, has Titan track on it, GCI in the chain. Do you think there's ever a situation that they would ever put Titan track on Mystic Timbers?
Don't make me think about that, please.
I'm just saying. Like, do you think they would ever do that? There's no way they would ever do that. There's no way they would ever do that.
There have been so many times that I've said there's no way Cedar Fair would do something, and they did it. So I'm not prepared to say that.
There's no way to do it. That's why I gave the example of those parks. Canada's Wonderland, Kings Island, Kings Dominion all got pre-cut track. No hybrid model things. When they did go hybrid, they went full hybrid. Here's Twisted Timbers, full hybrid. I was like, cool, perfect, thank you. They did not give it this Frankenstein thing. So like I said, when it's a park that they care about, I'm telling you right now, like they will put the effort in to the park they care about. Beast, 1978, 40-year-old coaster, like, here you go. Take a lot of this pre-cut gravity group. I think like here you go.
I think they care about Michigan's adventure, though. Maybe in a different way, but like they're not going to get rid of. I don't think they're going to get rid of Michigan's adventure.
There is no way they should have ever put that 2A track on Shivering Timbers if they love that park. I'm telling you, like there's just no way you would do that. There's no way. No way.
I agree with you, but I don't think they care. Like I think
isn't there a Titan track on the other one too?
I think so.
That's going there. Wolverine Wildcat. Isn't there a Titan track in it? So they've got two hybrid Woodies that's got 2 different manufacturers that's putting their steel in their wooden coasters that's intercepted somewhere during the layout. of their winning. That's how you know. Like I'm not saying they don't care about them. Like they're saying you're not on this level. Like Knott's Berry Farm, they care about that park, right? What did they do to Ghost Rider? They gave it the full treatment. I'm telling you, like when they care about when they care.
Well, I think that's what I mean. They care about it in a different way.
You get the level of you get the full level. Ghost Rider got the full level of treatment.
Let's wait and see what the future holds because I'm not as optimistic.
Pick some trains too in a full treatment. There you go.
You're right. You're right that Cedar Fair cared about all this, but it's not Cedar Fair anymore. And I don't.
They play favorites. I'm telling you right now, they play favorites, man. And like that's what it is. They play favorites. And they're favorites. But they care about their favorites. If you're not on their favorites list, they're like,
but it's
what
not
can we give
the
them?
same. It's not. It's Six Flags now. That's the thing. It's Six Flags now.
Throw them some Titan track. Throw them some 208 RMC track. Just put it somewhere.
The company is so desperate for money that they will do whatever they think is going to be the cheapest, and they don't care about the guest anymore. I don't think
not the part they care about. Hey, what about Canadian Mindbuster? You want to put some Titan track? No. That Kansas Wonderland? No. Call Gravity Group. Are you sure? Yeah, call Gravity Group. We're not going to do that. We're not going to give them the hybrid. No, call Gravity Group.
We'll see.
We're gonna take care of that one. We'll take our time and make sure it's a fun experience and we'll keep it wood. What about the beach? No. Call Gravity Group.
And
Kingsman?
That was all Cedar Fair, which does not exist.
Now Worlds of Fun. No. Hybrid all those. What? It's all of them. It's all three Woodies. All of them. Hybrid all of them and give them 3 different types of steel, 3 different trains, all different steels in there. That's what we got. I'm sorry, it's ridiculous. It is utterly ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. I want to be wrong. I hope they RMC Timberwolf. We'll see, or they just give it a full Gravity Group track. We'll see. If they put Titan track in that thing, I'm quitting Worlds of Fun. I'm done with the park. I'm out of there, man.
You're going to go to Egypt. Right. You'll just be like, I'm out. I'm a pyramid enthusiast now. Forget this roller coaster stuff.
It is my number one passion. So
and I know Ryan has been dying to get into some conspiracy stuff here. So.
Oh well, hey, I'll take anything, right? What do we got? Where are we going to go?
You said you're thinking anything?
What do you want to go to? I watch enough Y-Files. I got.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Have you ever heard of that, Mike? Y-Files?
No.
It's a podcast and a YouTube show. They do both sides of it, but it's he basically takes any thought. It's a whole team. I mean, they've got millions of subscribers, right? It's like they take any concept, any conspiracy theory, any thought like that, and they go in, do the whole story, the whole deep dive. It's like a 30-45 minute long thing. It's all about that stuff, and then at the end it pulls out all the facts, and it's just look, here's what we know, here's what we don't know, here's what's true, here's what's false, and maybe there's some leftovers in the middle of it. It's a really cool story presentation.
Did you ever watch
everything?
There was a show
this was right now, sport
years ago called Conspiracy Theory with Jesse Ventura.
I've seen that before.
I actually really liked that show. I think there were a couple episodes where he kind of went a little bit crazy.
Yeah, they were a little surgical on the left side there. They
but some of them though,
something that I pay attention to, like the JFK stuff, I always pay attention to.
Oh, dude,
anything with the pyramids or the moon, I'm always on board with that.
JFK is where all this shit started. Everything going on now. I think that was the first turning point.
All that stuff, I'm kind of cool that so I don't mind stuff like that, or Roswell. So I'll look at some of that stuff as it pertains to it. But no, you already know me, man. The pyramids is we're not gonna go long, but I'll just say the pyramids are me. Ryan, I'm glad I have Ryan here, the fellow engineer. But the pyramids are the best, are the most phenomenal structure on planet Earth. It is just the most phenomenal structure on planet Earth. I mean, it is unbelievable. Just 3 million blocks, perfectly cut, 5,000 years old, quarried from 600 miles away. I mean, it is just with tunnels and access stuff and perfection to this day of like, you can't even like slip things. There are beams that are over 50 tons of weight and long and stacked neatly on. It's unbelievable. Like the level of engineering that is capable of doing, and then people think that was really done by stacking things on top of blocks and dragging them up a hill.
That's the thing.
I need you to think about that, man. Like ropes and dragging it 600 miles.
I love the fact that we think of ourselves as this like height of technology, and then like we're like, oh yeah, they just like rolled rocks on logs. Like, can you hear yourself?
No.
Do you listen to what you're saying?
These things are also perfectly parallel and 90-degree corners and stuff that, like, we even have trouble with machines duplicating the inside, like these big rocks at Göbekli Tepe. Where they find these like H blocks and stuff where it's like patterns cut into them, and we don't even have machines right now that can cut these patterns into this rock.
Yeah, that's Kumaboka. It's unbelievable. And that's thousands of years ago. And so and that's the condition it is today. Like from thousands of years ago. And so when I see the pyramids, it's like I said, it's proof that humans were way more advanced back in the day. Like capabilities of what we can do is like thousands of years ago was like incredible. And if you're living today and you can't figure out how to do something like this in 2025, what they can do 5 to 7,000 years ago. It's like pretty phenomenal. And he's right, it's balanced, man. The pyramid is 750 feet exactly on each side on the base. Exactly 750 feet.
So they were imperial.
Just now figured out that
they used the imperial system.
8 corners. Like how they build it. It's unbelievable. Like the top side view of it, it's perfect. Like the degrees. It's unbeliable.
It took us till the year 2020, whatever it was. It took us till all this time to figure out that there was actually 8 sides to it.
Right, but no, we're the smart ones.
We're the smart ones.
I genuinely think that the point of whatever society built the pyramids
into a bedrock, Bob.
I know, but I think there's actually a parallel today, because I think we're at that point. Like, I think we're at the point where our technology is getting maxed out, and we're getting to the point where like it's exceeding our capability to keep up with it. And I think that we're hitting that point where whatever happened to the society that built the pyramids, I think is about to happen to our current society.
Like, that's the one, Mexico as well too. It's a lot of things, but like here, I kind of agree to the point. I don't mean to even go to the conspiracy way. Like, well, cut this short. It's already been long enough. But like, when I think, like, well,
it's fine. Like, everybody that doesn't listen to doesn't like the roller coaster people have left, so we can just keep going.
This has to do with Coach, because like you kind of get better with the technology, but. When you say you can send a man into the moon in like in the 1960s, and then 50, but you haven't sent a mission in 50 plus years, not sent one, but not even attempt one in 50 plus years with the technology capability that we have today. And the fact that there's the question, how come no one just asked the question, how come we haven't been to the moon in 50 years? Well, how come we haven't even tried to go? It's not even that we haven't gone. It's the fact that we haven't even tried to go. When people say, well, we've already been there. That was 50 years ago. Do you could you imagine visiting the United States 50 years ago? And then looking at it in 2025, and he said, okay, I went to the USA in 1975. There was no Teslas. There was no internet. There was no roadblocks there. There was no football stadiums and it's just stuff like that. It's just like things change in 50 years from what you can see compared to the technology that was visible, that we can use to even see visible things from that time if we even went. But how would you not, if you're an inspiring astronomer and you're a NASA guy or you're someone who wants to be an astronaut, like how is it not on your radar to say, I just want to attempt to, I just want to go to the moon. Forget Mars. Like forget these planets, forget Mercury, forget there's a star that's floating around our planet all year, all the time. Right there that we somehow got to in the 60s, but we won't even try to go in 2025. Or 1990, or 1980, or 2000.
I genuinely think people just stopped caring. That's my theory. It was like, hey, we went to the moon. It was boring when we came home. Like, why are we going to go there again? That's my theory.
And that's where you and I disagree because I was like,
this is conspiracy theories. We're all going to disagree.
That's if you went because like if you went because like. We don't even know. Like we don't know. Nobody who was born after in my lifetime, there has been no attempt to go to the moon.
All right,
existence.
Let me throw this out at you because here
we are the Dallas Cowboys of astronomy, man. We haven't won anything. All right, we haven't seen anything, man.
Here's the thing, though. Like this is genuine. This is where I'm coming at from that. It's like I think that whenever that happened. I think there was the whole, JFK was like promoting it. It's like, oh, we're going to go to the moon. Like, this is our big thing. But I think behind the scenes, there's probably all kinds of like Department of Defense stuff going on, which was probably the driving mission. And looking at it realistically, like I see exactly what you're saying. And like, I completely understand your point. But if you look at it from a different perspective, if we're looking at like Department of Defense or technology and stuff like that, and we're like, oh, hey, like this whole concept of satellites, like bouncing signals. The moon is like the perfect, like, hey, look, we can bounce something off the moon and actually like transmit it, rather than running cables across the earth, we can just bounce it off the moon. And so we went up and we put something there that helps, we put a mirror there or whatever, whatever the case may be. Like that is the rudimentary satellite that we started with. But now we have the technology of just launching satellites into orbit. And like, it's like we don't really need the moon anymore. So we're not going to put the money into going there because we can launch our little satellites wherever we want and we can fly them around and reposition them. And, Elon Musk can go crazy, like making his own stars. And, like that. I don't think it's indicative of like, oh, we didn't really go to the moon because like we're not trying because we didn't really go there. I think it's just like we went there, but like going there was an antiquated way of accomplishing something that we're now accomplishing in other ways. So it's like, why are we going to go there? There's no point to do it.
Really? Can you go look at the moon? Can you get in your car and go somewhere to go look at the moon stuff from the moon? Because that's 50 years ago, right? We don't know we don't even know. We don't know because that's technology from the 60s and early 70s. So like we don't even know. Like we didn't have the capability to really explore it. You know what I mean? Like how do we? We didn't even. What do we do? Step on it?
But that's what I'm saying.
And put on the flag and turn around and come back home. We haven't even taken the time to minerals. They don't think that we can learn from that. Like we don't know.
But I don't think
we don't even know what it is. Like what?
I don't think that was ever the motive. Though.
But like we can learn so much about what ticks, what makes that tick as far as to make it rotate and spin. You can learn more physiology about the planet Earth from being up there and studying the planet from being on top of the moon, things you couldn't do before. Like you can there's so much so much to learn, like from going, like just to go up there.
Mike, there's so much to learn and
take
so many different things. Like, why aren't we going to the depths of the ocean? Like, you know,
well, that's different, right? Because we can actually allegedly go into we can actually go in there until we can go into space, right? We can get past the race, but we can go into space. We can't physically go like 3 miles in the ocean. Like, we just can't do it. Nope. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't even do it, even though all this, you know, it's funny you think about that, Bob, right? So I found out two things on my cruise, right? So I was at Turks and Caicos, was one of our ports. And I didn't know that one of them, the missions, like the early missions to like orbit the Earth, and they actually splashed down in Turks. So I got pictures of that. I didn't even know that. And then I learned that the astronaut who actually went up there and did that turn, like that's what the airport's named after in Ohio. So I learned all that stuff. I didn't even know about that. So now my itchy trigger finger for knowledge has now been reinvigorated again, as far as like the space travel thing. So, and I'm like, we went in this 13-foot tunnel to like fall in this earth and fall in the ocean and get picked up in Turks and Caicos, and we did it for 4 hours but he orbited the entire Earth in 4 hours. And so, like, then I had to think about, like, how that works, right? Because then, my brain starts working. So then I'm on a cruise. I'm like, interesting. He orbited the entire Earth in 4 hours and 36 minutes. And then here comes the math in me. It's like, oh, let's start thinking about how is this possible? And I was like, let me start thinking about how is this possible with the way we already know it rotates 24 hours a day, one cycle to do this. And, like, even if you stood still and at distance speed, it would take you a day. I'm like, so like, how fast do you have to go in order to orbit to be perfectly landed spot? But this is over here, and Houston's over here from when they launched. But in order to land here, it would take you 6 hours to rotate. So that's all. So I got more questions than answers. Is basically what I'm trying to say. And then as I'm on the ocean, also on our sea days, as we're going across the ocean, I'm looking at Kat. I'm like, do you know how much history we're going across right now? And like, we just don't even know. I'm like, she's like, well, like, but just think, like thousands of years ago, this is probably land or a civilization that lived here. You know, but everything melted and now it's covered. It's like, there could be something like a half mile below us that we just can't even like fathom to like learn, which is why a place like Antarctica is still like another fascinating location to me, because it's the only continent that we can't access. And so, and because it's all in ice and it's completely owned by every single nation in the world, but you can't go there. So because it has secrets, it has answers to the question that we don't even know to ask. And right. So, so I'm just like,
where every nation is like, nope.
Every single nation. See, Ryan knows that every single nation is why is that the only one like that? So that's what I mean. Like if Antarctica, a place on land that's covered in ice and probably has frozen things in there that think that there's things there that we don't know about yet.
That's where the alien
know.
bases are. They're like, okay, we have an agreement.
They all know.
Here's where you get to land here.
I don't know. We're probably the aliens. We're the only species that doesn't adapt to its territory. So I'm just saying, like, we're the only species that does not adapt to its environment. That's it. Every other species does, and we're the only that drinks milk from another animal. That's neither here nor there.
That
doesn't make any sense.
That is a very odd thing. Like, it's weird to think about that. Like,
that's it. Think about that. Like, we don't. We drink from an animal, from a whole another organ, like a whole other different species of animal. Like that's supposed to like nutrient our body, which is crazy in the first place.
It's kind of funny. Like a lot of this stuff, like there's like these like all these urban legends and like these fantasy stories that we think of them as fantasy stories, but like one of them was this giant squid. Like for millennia, people talked about this giant squid, and it was always it was always just brushed off as like just one of those like legends. It's not a real thing, and then all of a sudden, like we just hit that point in the ocean, and like wait, it actually exists. Like it is there. Like these legends are actually like true. So you think like somebody somewhere figured that out, right? it's such a strange coincidence to have this legend describing this thing that has been dated back thousands of years, and everybody's just writing off as just like the story. Somebody wrote this story, and yet there's like these pictures and like illustrations and stuff, and then we find this giant squid in the ocean, like deep in the ocean. And it's like, wait, it's there. Like this thing that we've been discounting for thousands of years is actually there. It kind of makes you wonder, like, what other stories, are actually like, yeah.
I mean, that's legit. And so I mean, I agree with that. That's legit. And like I said, I think I've proposed before. We live in a world where if you want to hide something, you just do it in plain sight. And so Antarctica, plain sight. Pyramids, plain sight. Moon, all plain sight. All our questions that people just don't want to ask certain questions. Well, they don't think logically about certain questions when they say, "Oh, look at the pyramid. That's great. Yeah. They used a chisel and a hammer and made that." Mm-hmm. And you're like, what? I was like, and then like, show me. Then like, you got the people out there with those giant obelisks that's in the ground that was like almost carved, but you can clearly see it's like engineering like equipment used to like carve this thing, and then with little grooves and little cups and stuff like that are perfectly circular, but you can tell that it's like and they're all the same size, and they cut it from top to bottom. I'm sorry, like side from underneath. But people don't understand, like, hey, if you cut an obelisk inside of a rock structure, you still got to cut underneath it and lift it. And so like you still got to go underneath it, right. And you still got to be able to lift it. And so like how did they get it underneath to go across and then make it the same size all the way down? But you got so just small stuff like that. Like, well, they just lifted it up. It's like it's bedrock, like you got to cut the whole thing. But like, yeah, it's best to hide. But it's best when you do things when the world does something in unison. That's when you know something's off. So like Antarctica, that's one of them. That's land in plain sight, but the whole world is also in unison on not going to the moon. So like I wouldn't have a problem if it was like the USA didn't go, or Russia didn't go, or China didn't go. No one has gone.
I thought they were not manned, but they're still sending probes to the moon. Somebody isn't Russia or China sending like unmanned stuff to the moon?
We're starting missions again. We're starting to try to figure that out. But the first problem that all the scientists ran into is they said we can't get past the Van Allen radiation belt.
Yeah, that has five. Yeah, the temperature is it's still to this day doesn't make sense to me. Like how we got through that personally.
Yeah. Personally. And then you say how we do it in the past, and they're like, we did a bunch of math, and they said, well, where's all the math? And they go, we lost it.
This is exactly what I was saying about the whole like pyramids being at the end of that society. I think that's where we're at. We're just too lazy.
My favorite one is all the like, the moon landing was fake, which I don't think it was, but it whatever. But it's like, okay, so all the footage that we have from landing on the moon, it's like, what is it? Well, that was transmitted back to Earth. It's like, okay, and we recorded it. We literally put it on a projector and used a camera and recorded it off the projector. It's like, so where was the actual film? It's like, that was archived, and then where is that? It's like, we lost it. Oh, we lost a piece of film? No, we lost all of the film. 100% of it is gone. None of it. Like, yep, we don't have any of it. The stuff that we recorded on the wall from the projector, from it being transmitted, that's the only footage we have left, period.
So what you're saying is they found something they don't want us to know about.
Well,
that's why we're not going back. The aliens, right?
Personally, the
aliens kicked us off.
That's me. That's where I'm at. So I've always described to that, right? Like I think either we never went because, like, as Ryan just talked about, like the van lines where that burns and it's like what is it? Is it 5,000? How wide is this thing? It's like I forgot what it was.
It's super massive.
It's like 5,300 something like kilometers thick to get through it. Anyway, but even if you got through that, as he mentioned, as far as to like go through, as far as to even get the footage on there, but the fact that you don't, but I think either we went there and then saw what we weren't supposed to see, and whatever that was like, don't ever come back up here, and like that's where we are, and like I would be fine with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, we went up there, they were like, what are you doing here? I was like, go back to that. Go back down there. Do not come back up here. And it's like whether it could be in another advanced civilization that's way more advanced, probably the real builders of the pyramids or whatever.
They escaped to the moon. That's what happened.
Or someone kind of keep us in track, or we didn't go. You know what I'm saying? Like, or we didn't go, and then because that's when the world was getting ready to have a World War III. It was crisis is going on, missiles, and then the world needed a distraction to get together to avoid war, a world war. It could have been this would have been like a nuclear war, which is fine by me, right? So this is a great distraction. Everybody tunes into this space race going on for a few years, and you kind of reverted a cataclysmic global killer here, which would have wiped out the human race, which is fine. Which was fine. But if we went there, but my whole thing has ever been, got there or not. My whole stance is 50 years and we haven't tried. So no one's tried, and then everyone is in the same understanding that we're not going to try. Even a country would be even China would be you know what, we want to send a guy up there. There's always some guy, some young whippersnapper that grows up, some smart kid, whoever grows up, a 13-year-old genius who's curious and is just I want to go up there. And then he advances, gets in the NASA and he's up, and then he gets to that level and just hey, I figured out a way how we can get through the lines. I figured out the technology, how we can stay on the moon, how we can sustain breath. And this stuff, and it's just we're not going up there. Shut it down. It's just
I think Ryan kind of,
we can't. Then the idea is scrapped because I've never understood that. My whole lifetime, I've never seen anything. The only thing I saw the Challenger explode as a little kid. But I mean,
that image was I remember that happening, watching it on TV, and I remember seeing it, but having no real concept of what it was.
Yeah, exactly.
And thinking back, and now I'm oh, wow. I watched that happen, and I didn't know what it was, and it's crazy.
And a fun fact: I went to Kristen McCall Elementary School. They actually built the elementary school when I was in third grade. They named it Kristen McCall Elementary School. And we were the home of the Challenger. That was our mascot. We were the Challengers, home of the Challengers. That kind of it's crazy. That third grade, me going to Crystal McCall Elementary School, kind of ignited all of this. Back when I was a little kid, I'm how do we get up there? And then it was the pyramids, and then it was we were hauling stones with ropping ropes. I'm really? That 2.5 tons is 10,000 pounds. It's you lifted that and drug it 600 miles. That's 600 miles is from here to past Charlotte, almost to Atlanta. I'm you know how long it would take to drag a piece of rock on some wooden paddles?
How long it takes to drag the Carowinds?
To take a 10,000 piece rock, keep it in perfect form, drag it on some wing with some rope and pulleys with 30 men, 600 miles, and then stack it 400 feet in the air. I was
that is honestly, that's the thing that always gets me is the whole stacking thing. It's okay, let's just appease it and say okay, they moved these on logs or whatever, all this transport thing. You're still not answering how they stacked it. That's tall. I don't care how many people you have. How do you get it up there? Built
a ramp and drug it up a ramp. A nice wooden mud dirt ramp and drug it up there. They'll get me started on this stupid shit. It's outrageous. But yeah, that's all I'm at. So I have curiosity in that because I'm just why what's going on with that? And then of course Antarctica is that's my new thing now. The last couple years is just kind of studying how they protect the borders and you can't even. You talk about Google searches. Try to do a search you can't get any information on it.
Find the Black Pyramid in Antarctica. There's supposed to be a Black Pyramid in Antarctica.
Oh, really?
The same exact type of pyramid that is in Giza, but it's black and it's in a certain area, and it's warm to the touch apparently.
Oh, dude!
Interesting.
That's it.
Explain
Now I'm
interesting.
Now I'm gonna have to. I'm not gonna sleep tonight. I'm gonna.
These are the conversations I have with Kat when I like talk her ear off for like 3 hours. She's just like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, did you know that they like this? She's like, "You've been studying." Like she's like, "You must have been in pain in college." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I was terrible." I was like, "Oh yeah." I used to live at this so VC had they had just built like the engineering building, like School of Engineering on Broad Street, and I'm like, so let's just live there and just like sitting there and falling asleep in the room and waking up at like 3 a.m. and classes like at 3 hours, and I'm just like got the same stuff on, and then I'm just like go to walk across Monroe Park to the library to like sit there for a few hours, then come back over just feeling funky, ain't gone home yet, man, just to ask one question to the professor, and I'm just like, hey, it took me 4 hours to calculate this, but I just figured that in order to the angle of ascent, like you took you that long to figure this out, to do an angle of ascent on how to move this block up here. I was like, yeah, because it doesn't make sense because they did it 3 million times. So I'm trying to figure out like how they did this 3 million times. And then according to what you could say, you said they installed one every like 20 minutes because they built it in 20 years. So like I need to know how they can move, clip, cut, install every 20 minutes. I'm like, we can't build houses and do foundations in a week. So I'd like to know how they were to take this size block that's bigger than my bed and taller than me and insert it, and it weighs 10,000 pounds, and then with all these manpower and ropes, and then perfectly do it without it being off-centered, off by an inch, because everything's perfect on the pyramids. I'm like so I'm trying to figure that out, how the base is completely level to like a 0 point something degree, and it's exactly 750 on each base. I need to understand this.
This is getting me. This is really getting me. The 750 is getting me because seriously, like by that number though, we're conceding that they were using the imperial system. It's I don't know. I think this kind of goes hand in hand with like the legends thing. It's like there's these things that have just like always existed. Do we know where the imperial system started? Like, I mean, is that a fact? I honestly don't know. Do either of you know? I
don't know. I actually don't know the answer to that question. I could find out.
No, I don't know the exact to it. I mean, used to be the king's foot, but
right. I mean, yeah, that's what I always heard, but I never really knew that to be true.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like it's one thing to say
7/16 of an inch. I'm like, do you have the king's foot with you? Or what's going on? Once you pass a certain stage in life, you switch to the metric system, and so it's much easier.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of. For me, it's like that. Okay, well, that 750 foot number, like, okay, that's crazy that it's exactly that. But to me, it's even crazier that it's imperial based. Yeah. I don't know. Just in my mind, that kind of blows my mind. You know, it's more shocking that it's like this. It's, you know, because like you look at like most things in the world, it's like, oh yeah, it's this many meters. It's like, well, what's that in feet? It's like it's never an even number. You know, it's always like something off. So like, you know, you almost have to concede like, okay, when they were building it, it was the imperial system, right? I mean, you could kind of deduce that, I would think. Mike seems to be deep in thought. Either that or he's
it's close enough.
I mean, 228 meters, essentially 220 to 229 around it, but like 229 meters. So, I mean, it's each side is longer than 2 football fields put together. You know, so I'm like lowering like a football field is 100 yards. So like take another football field and put it on the outside of that one.
Yeah,
and that's one side, and they got to do this thing 4 times. But it's perfect today. Like it's perfect today.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's perfect today.
I have
not
to
like times
think,
eroded it.
Like
yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I have to think that it's kind of like the Sphinx, where like, you know, we didn't know all of the Sphinx was there because the sand was
so like sand.
For me, I feel like most like the pyramids were probably under sand for most of the time they were standing. Like that,
there could have been
that
a point about where the whole
and,
thing was underwater.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
We are, so going back to, what is it, the disaster type stuff, it's like we're on cycle 3 of the planet. If you really dig into stuff and listen to it, it's like we're on cycle 3 in this planet. Cycle 3 is almost over. That's the problem. It's like we're coming up on cycle 4.
Kind of what I like. I seriously like. I feel like we're reaching. Like technology is just like approaching. Like it can't keep going.
They've shown that it's like, okay, we have these things. It's a pole shift where the poles of the planet will shift. Sometimes they shift just a little tiny bit, but every once in a while they do a catastrophic where they shift up to 90 degrees. And when that happens, basically the whole Earth turns into a giant blender, and it just destroys everything on the inside. It's, from what they can tell, they being some sort of scientists, I don't know, it's happened 3 times already. It's been 3 cycles already. And we're in the middle of the 3rd going on to the 4th one. And that's one of the things they say. There's a radioactive decay in an isotope or something like that. I can't remember how it's put exactly, basically. But there's something that happens only when you have nuclear power. You split, you do something, and you get this radioactive element that just exists for billions of years or something afterwards. And nuclear fusion, the act of nuclear fusion, like what we do today, is the only thing that produces this byproduct. It's not a naturally occurring element at all. We have to put it through nuclear fusion in order to get this out of like a nuclear reactor or a weapon or something like that. And these elements are actually found deep, deep, deep inside the Earth. Like, when one of these cycles happened, it took advanced civilizations like where we are now, just put them through the blender. And all the elements that were part of it just settled to the bottom. That is really weird to think about. That all these things, it's like, these advanced civilizations and all this other stuff, we're just an earlier cycle. And the things like Atlantis and those things that they talk about, which like, it's an earlier thing. It's like, well, once the poles shift, everything shifts. And like Mike was saying, it's like, what was dry land is now underwater. What was underwater might now be the top of a hill.
I think that's happened. I completely agree with that. Like, I mean, you see it all the time. Like, you already see like the deserts moving and like, different climates changing, and like you kind of see that. And even in my lifetime, I've witnessed some of that happening to some extent, where like things have changed. Things were once this climate, they're now this climate. But so do you think that our playing with nuclear technology is like, do you think that's the precipitating fact, or do you think it's like a natural thing?
It's a natural thing. It happens. It's in line with the sun and the Earth's polarity, the magnet field and everything. One of the things is when the sun does one of these coronal mass ejections, eventually it'll do this huge massive one, which is one of these, which starts off this event. And basically what it does, it interrupts the Earth's magnetic polarity, and the core basically turns into, or the I can't remember which part it is, the mantle, whatever it is, it makes it turn into basically a ball bearing. And instead of it rotating with the crust, it just stands still. And then the Earth is just able to free move around. And then it reestablishes its pole once the sun is done doing its coronal mass ejection thing.
God.
This is really cool stuff to think about.
That's you don't want to be around for that.
This is the thing that's so crazy to me. Like the whole coronal mass ejection thing, like that already, like that wreaks havoc on our technology. And I think the normal person doesn't realize how bad it is. And like I did this as a joke, and I scared myself because I actually I figured out that there might be some reality to this. I used to have a customer that had like tons. I mean, all my customers have tons of hard drives, but like they had tons of hard drives in their facility, and they frequently had drive failures. When you have that many, you just have hard drives fail. And there were like basically, like, I would go in every few days and I'd walk through, and like all the fell drives would have a red light. I just, okay, swap them out. I didn't have to interact with them. I just swapped them out, and they automatically started rebuilding their arrays. Everything was fine. But the thing that got me was there were these days that, like, I'd walk into the cage and there were just red lights everywhere. And I'm like, why? What is it about this day? And somebody had joked about that kind of thing, like solar flares and like solar that kind flares, of thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's funny. And then I found an app that like showed solar flare activity, and those days coincided with higher solar activity, and it blew my mind. I was like, how? We're in a building that's like, I mean, they always said allegedly it was Kevlar coated. It's secure building. We're in this building, but like it really and now I don't have enough data to say this is 100% what was going on.
All right.
But there was enough that I was like, wow. And like there were a couple times where I was like, I haven't watched it in years, but there used to be like there probably still is, but there used to be like I think it was NOAA had like an alert, like anytime there was a major solar flare or anything like that, you would get an alert. And like I had that active. I had some of those alerts active, and like there were times where like I got that alert, and I'm like, I'm gonna have a lot of drives tomorrow, and I'd go in, and the next day, just tons of drives. And it's like one of those things. Like people know about like satellites and communication and stuff like that, but it's like even our electronic devices are susceptible to this. And it's weird how it's like it seems to be technology, It is almost like maybe we do get to a point and it's like, the Earth just says, okay, that's it. You've done enough, Yeah. But it's so weird that you talk about like the whole nuclear aspect, especially when like, I mean, it's kind of funny. Like people are like, oh, AI is going to kill us. But it's like, yeah, it's not going to be AI. It's going to be the nuclear power plants we're bringing on to run the AI. Like it's from somebody that works in data centers. Like it's crazy. Like people, it's funny how like there's now this like you work in data centers. Oh, you're part of that AI. It's like no. That's a whole other thing. It's like there's the internet. That's what I work on. But like now there's like all this AI stuff, and the amount of electricity that it's pulling is just ridiculous. It's absolutely staggering how much electricity it's pulling. And somehow we're paying for it because our power, like how is mine at my house? Why is my electric bill going up? I'm not running this AI. I don't like AI. I never want to use it. I avoid it like the plague because, well, I mean, I think the other thing is it's like our brains just atrophy. We don't, I know the thing, like when I was in high school, I knew every single one of my friends' phone numbers off by heart. I knew it all. And I don't now.
You had to. And, well, you also had to.
But that's exactly my point. That's exactly my point. I had to, so I did. Now I have a phone that does that for me, and I don't. Do you think I can? My niece doesn't even know her own phone number. Like, I mean, I hope by now she does. But like, for a really long time, maybe even still now, she did not know her own phone number. And like it's just like you think about like just this one device, and now we're like at this point where it's like, oh, well, now we have people like, oh, I don't know what this is. Let me go ask AI. They don't confirm it. They treat whatever AI says as truth. It's usually wrong. And the other weird thing is, for all of the history of computers, 2 + 2, I may have said this on the show before, but like 2 + 2 was always 4. Always. You asked a computer what 2 + 2 was, 4. With AI, you ask it what 2 + 2 is, it might say 4. It might not either. Like it's so subjective that things that are literal facts, it can't get right. Like asking, like if you ask it like there's certain words, usually with like double letters, you ask it like how many B's are in this word. It'll get it wrong. Frequently gets it wrong. And it will argue with you that it's right. And you can clearly see it. Like So we're like, this is all part of why I think technology is. It's ironic because this is the field I work in, but like I really think technology is killing us.
It's kind of like a catch-22, right? For example, I don't think I could be a student right now, like being in like growing up in like elementary, middle school, high school, because the teachers could be corrected at any point. And I kind of hate that, right? No, I just did a search on here. That's not what this is. Like what you're teaching me, that could be. I can't imagine being a teacher right now. And then being able to like not. There was a pride in that personally. Like if I want to know something, I have to go to the bookstore.
Yeah.
Like I have to read it. I have to go study it. I can't just. I don't have the flexibility to just pick up a phone or go to my laptop and we have walking information with us 24/7. So being able to have that kind of ease for certain things, it kind of laxes your ability to like, I guess, and for me at least, like learn better. I feel like people are obviously like really smart and still smart to this day, but like I think there was more work because you kind of had to put it in there in the time there. And when you just go to books and you had to memorize, you had to learn, you had to problem solve. And if you didn't know it, you had to go back to you had to go back to go do it. So like you had to go back to go do it. Whereas now you get it on, like, oh, I could just, there's an easy path now. Like I can't imagine like giving kids homework who just go home and just type it up and just get the answer. And so I don't know how you monitor homework now. I didn't have internet in high school. I didn't have access. We didn't have access to that in high school. So we had to go home, figure it out, get graded, and then if it was wrong, you find out the answer. Like today, you could just put it in. But I don't have kids. Yeah, Ryan's got kids, so like hopefully his kids don't do that. I'm pretty sure they don't. but you just kind of plug information in and make it simple, and then as far as like, did you learn anything? No, I learned how to use the computer to get the answer, as opposed to I've actually learned the information itself and just grow on that. So. That's the good. That's the good. The bad is what you're saying is Ryan already mentioned it as well, is the cycles. I've always believed that anyway. You got to separate yourself away from like how things look now compared to what things might look then. People look at, I'll use the pyramids again. People look at Egypt and they think, oh, it was a desert land all the time. It's like, no, that's what it looks like today. Yeah. It could have been something way different 5,000 years ago. And I always use that example, right, of the United States. I'm like, when quote unquote Christopher Columbus discovered America, or down there, particularly in 1492, what was here in 1492? There was nothing. So like where you live and where I live and where you all live, there was nothing here like 500 years ago. So in 500 years, we've gone from nothing but trees and lawn to like what you see today. That's 500 years ago. So I can't imagine like what changed in 5,000 years. So it's like when you consider
this is something I've come to, that whole tree thing.
Just think about how much has changed in 500 years. And so think what could change in 5,000 years and how we could have self-destructed and gone through a phase and did that, right? Like we got so advanced where you blew it all up and that's what's left. That's what's left over and you're recycling out and you kind of get built and then you kind of recycle it all again. You get to a specific level to make things easier, then it just then we're back to primitive, and then you get smarter because you have to.
Right. You lose the technology, and then you have to start figuring it all out, and then you go to the moon, and the people at the moon are like, oh, they're back. It must have been 3,000 years. Another 3,000 year cycle. They figure out how to get up here again. So that means Earth's they'll be dead. So they'll be dead in 2,000 more years. It's not much longer again. So stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's such a crazy thing to think about. Like somebody spectating
or the dinosaurs,
us.
Right? There's people that don't believe in dinosaurs, or like the dinosaurs, right? There's this huge animal that were the prime alpha animal on planet Earth, and they don't even exist anymore. Yep. So they don't even exist anymore. And it's just and that could have been during one of those cycles that Ryan just mentioned.
So I'm going to challenge that a little bit. I think dinosaurs do exist to some extent. I think they're reptiles. I think reptiles are because
they're descendants. Yeah,
it's definitely descendants.
In the sense that they evolved, but the interesting thing about reptiles is they never stop growing. A reptile never stops growing. They grow until they die. So if you have an environment, and this kind of goes with the tree thing I was just saying, like if you're in an environment where everything is healthier, like we're right now, there's the whole climate change and worried about carbon emissions. I think it's a huge concern, and I think it's something we should be focused on. But I also think that we're kind of looking at it the wrong way. It's like, okay, we should cut back on carbon emissions, but the bigger problem is we're getting rid of all the trees. And like that's their job. That's what they do. They clean that stuff. So we get rid of the trees. So let's go back, like you said, even 500 years ago, but there's more trees. And there's some civilization there, so there's going to be some deforestation to some extent. I mean, we've supercharged it. No joke. Like, we've absolutely supercharged it. But if you think about it, if you're in a world where there's less of a biological load, there's the possibility of living much longer because things are healthier. You have that ability. A reptile plausibly could have lived hundreds of years and grown to the size of like what we know dinosaurs today,
or humans, right? Humans, because you don't have things like cigarette smoke in the atmosphere. You don't have smog. You don't have harmful things that we've used to engineer to make like certain products for like pleasure or for you don't have those kind of things that are impacting the atmosphere that can like dictate that. And so and I see it all the time, right? Like I said, I just went on a cruise and I'm like, I get back to it's mind blowing to me, like how I can be in Florida and go to Miami and I see the beach and it's like this water is filthy, but I'm on a boat and I go to Turks and Caicos, this thing is clear water. I mean, like it's just like, how am I in clear water? But like at this beach out here, but the moment I get in that boat and I go right back to Miami, I can't even see an inch in the water, And so it's like, that's a real thing, that's a real thing as far as as your point here about being a different kind of clean area and that kind of stuff. And there's also less animals and less people on this earth to like occupy the oxygen resources and anything kind of going across. And as you get bigger and bigger, and I've told you this too, the more people and animals you put in this planet, the planet finds a way to always downsize somehow, some way. It always finds a way. Life finds a way. Life finds a way. Literally. Whether it be like a war, whether it be a war, some kind of catastrophe, or some kind of big war, like whenever we get too populated, it finds a way. And like I sadly I didn't joke about it, but I said it like COVID was like kind of like a way to like bring down some of this population, because like you just don't come up with a virus out of nowhere, and it's just like it's almost like targeted like towards something. And I'm like, like it's just, and it just lasted. We had an epidemic and it lasted about a year and a half, 2 years. Then we kind of got kind of rolling out, but now it's like to get COVID is kind of like a rare thing now. We just kind of going out. That was
I think people are getting COVID a lot. It's just not like our bodies are used to it now. Like we aren't reacting to COVID the way that
you mean like adapted?
Right. Yeah. Like I do. I think people are everywhere with COVID and they don't know it. That's kind of my feeling. I mean, there's been a lot, like there's a lot of like the bioload research of like sewage and stuff like that. And there's a lot of evidence that there's a lot of COVID. There's a lot of COVID that exists.
Yeah. I never got it. I was never,
but see, like that's the thing is the first time that I had it, oh my God, it was horrible. I've had it 3 times. The first time I had it, like if you could have given me the option to die, I might have taken you up on it. I was miserable. The third time I got it, it was a cold. I mean, at night I was getting a little bit cold. Like temperature regulation is a big thing, but just in the 3 times that I've had it, night and day difference. And I think that's the thing. I think now we've adapted to it, and I think it's the same exact thing that happened with the flu in 1918 or was it 18? Early 1900s, the big flu. I think that was the COVID of that time. It killed a lot of people, but now we get the flu and it's like whatever. But back then,
I don't know. Couldn't tell you. I've never had COVID. I've never had the flu. I've never had either one of them. I don't get sick. I hardly ever get sick. I'm talking like I don't. My last 16 strep throat. That's the last time I was sick.
Wow.
I don't get sick. Like, I'm allergic to strawberries, but like, I don't like COVID. Like there are people like coughing around me with all this COVID up thing. I'm just like,
but see,
it was miserable. It was like miserable for me because I hated wearing that mask and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just kind of like, this is supposed to stop COVID. Get the hell out of here.
But you may have.
Don't get me started on the whole thing.
The thing is, though, you may have had COVID and not realized it. That happened to my sister. My sister, she tested positive for COVID, like the COVID antibodies. She didn't. And it was weird because the first time I got it was we were at a wedding and everybody at the wedding was really sick with COVID. My sister's like, what are you all talking about? And she's like, I don't understand. She went for the test and like she had the antibodies. She had it. She just wasn't sick.
Right.
That's close. It's possible.
It's kind of
at my
thing.
job, we had a test 3 times a week at my job, and I hated that.
Wow.
I really hated the COVID situation. All right, guys, it's 12:37.
Yeah.
Let's do this. We got to go to sleep, man. We're already in Friday, man. So it's like, well, at least here where I'm in East Coast here, we're in Friday already.
Yeah, Ryan's not quite there yet, but we are.
Close to it.
Yeah, the longest show ever, but it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. You've been listening to Side Friction Podcast. You can follow us on Mastodon at sidefriction at worldkey.io.
You can also follow us on Instagram at Side Friction Podcast.
Or visit our website at sidefriction.com.
Look for new episodes every Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern, and we'll see you then.